Hi, gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you're out in the world. Welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We are giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking fans around the globe can enjoy the game on YouTube and Twitch along with us. Tonight, we're bringing you the third game of the three-game set between the Saitama Seibu Lions and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Last night, it was a 6-0 victory for the Lions. They are looking to complete the sweep of the Hawks here tonight in the Sunday affair. And so we'll give you first the starting lineups for the visitors from Saitama. It'll be leading off. And playing second base, wearing number 5, is Shuta Tonosaki. Batting second and playing shortstop, wearing number 6, is Suzuki Genda. Batting third and doing the DHing tonight is number 10, Tomoya Mori. In the cleanup spot and playing first base, wearing number 3, is Hotaka Yamakawa. Batting fifth and playing third base, wearing number 39, is Nin-Ting Wu. Batting sixth in right field, wearing number 53, is Ito. Batting seventh in left field, wearing number 30, is Brian O'Grady. Batting eighth and doing the catching, wearing number 22, is Yuto Koga. And batting ninth and in center field, wearing number 46, is Shohei Suzuki. And they are going to be facing the lefty in Tsuyoshi Wada. He is 2-2 on the season. He's worked 42 and 2/3 innings. He's allowed 26 hits, 12 runs, 9 of which have been earned, and he's got himself an ERA of 1.90. And so now the starting lineup for the home team for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Leading off and playing shortstop tonight, wearing number 99, is Isami Nomura. Batting second and playing third base, wearing number 23, is Yukio Shudo. Hitting third and right field, wearing number 9, is Yuki Yanagita. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 54, Alfredo de España. Batting fifth and playing second base, wearing number 36, is Taisi Makihara. Batting sixth in left field, wearing number 27, is Yerizabel Graciel. Batting seventh in center field, wearing number 32, is Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Batting eighth and playing first base is Kenta Kurose, and he is wearing number 126. That's what we laughed about last night, number 126 for Kenta Kurose. Batting ninth and doing the catching, wearing number 19, is Takuya Kai. And they're going to be facing Dietrich Enns, who is bringing a 6-5 record to the hill with 78 innings pitched. He's allowed 57 hits, 23 runs, 20 earned. He's walked 28 and struck out 54. Those are your starting lineups for tonight's ball game, and we're about ready to get ourselves underway. Our friend Ruben Hogan asked the question, is Seibu a good bet or the under 3.5 for the first 5 innings? Well, Seibu's looking to complete the sweep here. I don't know if they're a good bet on this one here to finish it off. I do have a couple of concerns about how they run their lineup out, especially the catcher when Mori is not behind the plate. They're susceptible to give up extra bases. And that is the good question. Brian says he likes the under tonight overall. Dietrich Enns has pitched fairly well this year, so I guess we're about to find out here in a couple minutes. Just hang tight, everybody. We are going to give you the call here straight away. I'm just going to make a couple of adjustments as Wada is on the mound getting his warm-up tosses, and we'll be back here in just a moment. Hang tight, everybody. We appreciate you all for being here. Stay tuned. We're just about ready to get this one underway.
Hello, guys. Steve Rademacher coming at you. I'm having my 500 subscriber giveaway if we get there by the end of this year. That's my name and my channel, Steve Rademacher. All you have to do is be publicly subscribed, and then you can enter to win once we hit the magic number, either an unopened, still sealed box of Star Trek official trading cards, Next Generation and Original Series. If that's not your cup of tea, we have Fleer Adrenaline with a Deer Dick rookie card. I have pulled out an autograph from one of these, and there are relics. If that's not your thing, how about an unopened box of 1987 Donruss baseball? Just come watch me, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the top of the first inning, and we're ready to get this one underway. It's Shuta Tonosaki to lead it off. He'll be followed by Suzuki Genda and Tomoya Mori. Wada ready to go to work. He rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. And it is a first pitch fastball that misses down and in. And the count is 1-0. For Tonosaki on the season, he's batting .219. He's got 6 homers and 29 RBIs. He was all over the stat sheet in last night's ball game as he takes a fastball for a called strike. And the count goes even to 1-1. He was the fire starter for the Lions as he got things rolling quickly as he scored the first run of the ball game in the first inning last night. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded foul past the third base coach's box, and the count is now 1-2. Tonosaki has a little bit of pop in the stick. He's got 6 homers. He's also got 9 stolen bases. He can do a little bit of everything, not anything particularly great. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled straight back. It's going to keep the count at 1-2 strikes. I've seen Tonosaki play quite a bit this year. And when we've watched him play, he has lately improved his game. Early in the season, he was making some errors in the games that we saw. He was not coming up in situations when there were runners on base to be able to get some hits to drive stuff in. And there's a fastball swung on it. It has popped up down the left field line. Racing over on it and past it is the shortstop. It's going to fall in front of Graciel. And that is going to be a bleeder. That's going to be a double here for Tonosaki. So here I am criticizing his play a little bit, and this ball has some eyes, and that's helped him out as he's going to have himself a leadoff double. That ball was sky high. It was in the Bermuda Triangle down the left field line. It was close to being a foul ball. It bounced probably about 5 feet from foul territory. The shortstop, Nomura, had to come a long way. The left fielder, Graciel, had to come a long way, and neither one could get there in time. And that is going to be a leadoff double to start the game for the Lions. And just like that, they got a guy in scoring position, and that's going to bring up Suzuki Genda. So we saw a similar situation like last night. I'd be curious to see if Genda is going to bunt. See if they can get the momentum here, and he's already squaring around. So Genda squaring to bunt. He's batting .260 on the season with a homer and 10 RBIs. They're going to try to keep him close. Is Nomura and Tonosaki jockey at second. The bunt is down. It's over to the third base side. It is picked up by Takuya Kai, and he throws to first. And that is going to retire Genda. It's going to go down as a sacrifice, 2-3. It is going to advance Tonosaki over to third, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Tomoya Mori. So for Mori on the season, he's batting .249. He's got a couple of homers and 20 RBIs. He's picked up the pace lately. And he has definitely improved his stock after he had missed some time early in the year by breaking a bone in his hand. It was either when he punched a helmet or something along those lines. He was pretty ticked off. So up to bat here is Mori. He bats from the left side. The infield is in already here. Our friend Brian DeZara says he figures that he likes the under and the Hawks tonight. There is a fastball swung on, and this is fouled away down the left field line, and the count is 0-1 to Mori. And so obviously if you're playing in the first inning here, as Tyler is in the house here. Thanks for stopping in, Tyler. Appreciate you being here. The infield is in. Usually the trade runs for outs early in the ball game, unless you think that this is going to be a pitcher's duel. So here comes the 0-1 offering. As the left-hander Wada holds at the belt, and now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tyler says he likes the Seibu Seibu Lions tonight, as the Lions are looking to continue their winning ways. Last night's ball game was a very entertaining affair. It was a 6-0 variety A lot of strange things happened in that game last night, including the ground rule double that got stuck in the fence. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. Brian asked the question, is the infield in? Yes, it is. They played everybody up in front of the bags. That's the one thing that you'll see sometimes in North American baseball. A lot of the teams will play back and trade the run for the out this early in the game. You can play in, and you have a potential to give up a big inning. A base hit here obviously would score the run, but it also puts a runner on base. If you've got the infield back, it'll take away some of those hard-hit ground balls, and they end up as outs rather than giving them another base runner. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. So strategically, it usually means that if they've got the infield in the first inning, they feel that the pitching tonight is going to be able to hold both the teams in check. You think of the relief pitching last night we saw from Fukuoka. Fukuoka really slammed the door down after the 6th run was scored. The Lions barely could get a sniff of a runner in scoring position. So if Wada can do his job tonight, and I don't even know if those were the better arms in the bullpen that we saw last night. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This is lined. It's going to get down into left field. It's a base hit. Graciel moves over to his right to field it. Tomoya Mori's got a single and an RBI, and the Lions are on the board 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. That is going to bring up the first baseman, Hataka Yamakawa. For Yamakawa on the season, the big fella is batting .276. He's got 30 homers and 64 runs batted in. He had a couple of singles last night and a couple RBIs. He missed the home run by about 6 inches as he hit a ball to right center field that was about 6 inches from clearing the fence, hit the top of the fence. It would have been a 3-run homer in the first inning if he just had a little bit more loft to it. But it would have been a wall scraper, not one of his big towering home runs. Here comes the first offering from Wada, who kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yamakawa. The big fella batting from the right side here, waiting on the offering from the lefty Wada, who holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is lined past the diving third baseman, Shudo, into left field. That is going to stop Mori at second base, and the Lions have got their bats still zinging tonight, as that puts runners at first and second, and it's going to bring up the third baseman, Nin-Ting Wu. So Mori, the runner at second, Yamakawa, the runner at first. There's one out as Genda was retired on the sacrifice. And Ning-Ting Wu steps to the plate. For Wu on the season, he's batting .227. He's got 3 homers and 18 RBIs. And that is going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound to have a conference as the Hawks are out there talking it over. And Wada is in agreement, and now he's ready to go back to work. So last night, the Lions jumped out ahead early and were able to pace themselves to that 6-0 victory. Dietrich Enns is going to be on the mound tonight for the Lions, as we said at the top. I watched him pitch a couple starts ago, and he looked pretty good. He just didn't get a lot of defensive support. That was one of the games that the big fella Yamakawa was making a meal of it at first base. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Defensively, Hataka Yamakawa is an adventure at first base. And he sure makes up for it on the offensive side. Here's the 1-0 offering now to Wu, who waits on the delivery from Wada. He checks the runners, and now he kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. You have to pause a little bit as the home plate umpire is very slow and deliberate. Going up with the right hand, he is not the quickest. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Wu. Wu waggles the bat as he's waiting on the offering here from Wada. Wada holds at the belt in the stretch position. They're jockeying with Mori at second base, and here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 1-2 on Wu. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Ruben Hogan says, thank goodness he didn't take the under. Sounds like batting practice out there. Well, it is definitely entertaining. Steve Rademacher in the house tonight. I think Steve was out celebrating the Milwaukee Brewer victory over the Boston Red Sox earlier today. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Wu as Wada delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 1-2. So sometimes you'll see with the starters, they'll get into a rocky first inning and then they settle down and they get into a groove. Sometimes first innings, it's about survival. I remember the former Detroit Tiger Hall of Famer Jack Morris was like that. Once he could figure out the first inning and get through it, he was really tough after that. But if you could get to him in the first inning and put a few runs on the board, that's where you were going to get him. And so here comes the 1-2 pitch. As Wada delivers, it is a breaking ball that just misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It is a UFC night tonight, so sometimes some of our viewers are late arrivals on that affair. I'm not sure where they're at in their fights right now. Sometimes we get the updates that flash by. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wada checks the runner at second. He checks Mori again, and now he delivers. It's a fastball that's taken for a called third strike. I'm not sure what Wu was looking for. That fastball isn't getting any better than that. Thigh high, right across the center of the plate, and he's going to walk back to the dugout for out number 2. That's going to leave it up to the right fielder, Ito. So the veteran Wada able to deliver a fastball, and there's no emotion from him as he knows he's got a job to do, and did it, he did. So that brings up Ito to the plate. Ito is batting .238 on the season. He's got 7 homers and 17 RBIs. He's waiting on the first offering from Wada. He waggles the bat. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that's taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. Our friend Quaffs is back in the house for round 2 tonight. We appreciate you for showing up again. He was with us for the game we did between the Padres and the Twins. I don't know if Steve Rademacher is still listening in over there. We had a big D sighting tonight. There was a fastball that this is off the outside corner, and the count is 1-1, and he was doing his best trolling job of Matt Hollis in his commercials. For those of you who don't know, Matt Hollis obviously is the San Diego Padre native, and our friend Big D is a Minnesota Twin fan. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is to right-handed hitting Ito, and there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. That's going to run the count now to 1-2 on Ito. 22 pitches already for the Fukuoka lefty. Battle of southpaws here tonight as Dietrich Enns is also a lefty. The former Central Michigan University Chippewa. Rademacher says he's always listening. Yeah, Big D was serving up some San Diego barbs. They weren't barbecues. They were definitely barbs, all right. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Steve Rademacher said he watched the WWE pay-per-view SummerSlam. So what happened to Brock Lesnar tonight? If anybody out there, I guess he was wrestling in this one. There was talk about him being a part of the big deal. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wada leans in and he gets his sign from his catcher, Takuya Kai. He's set at the belt. And here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to the right side. It is fielded by the first baseman, Kurosi, who flips it to the pitcher, Wada, covering. And that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the first inning. It's a ground out 3-1 for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, the Lions score 1, but they're going to be a little bit heartbroken because they probably could have got themselves another 1 or 2. There was 1 run in the inning, and there were 3 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Seibu Seibu Lions 1, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks coming to bat. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We're glad you guys are with us Here is our friend Steve Rademacher. Be sure to check him out after the game, as he's got all kinds of crazy stuff on his channel, including him.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment, as this is going to be the bottom of the first.
Thanks for checking out Freddie and Last Raps Baseball. It's time to announce the winners of this month's mystery pack. Boom! Josh S., you're the winner. Congratulations. Enjoy the game, and remember to tell Steve Rademacher, take a haircut. Back to the game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the bottom of the first inning, and it is going to be Dietrich Enns on the mound for the Seibu Lions. The top of the order is Sami Nomura, Yukio Shudo, and Yuki Yanagita to face the left-hander here. Nomura is leading it off. He's batting from the right side. He's got a .241 average with 8 homers and 17 RBIs. And the first pitch is a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nomura batting from the right side. He gets the start at shortstop. Normally we like to see, or we normally not like to see, but we always see Kenta Imamiya. There's a fastball swung on, and this is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. That last pitch was at 95 miles an hour. So the lefty Enns is coming out slinging here in the first inning. Enns last year pitched briefly with the Tampa Bay Rays at the big league level. He actually had some pretty good numbers for the Rays. We've got our friend CV Baseball card collector in the house. We appreciate you for being here. And here comes the pitch. The breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-2 to Nomura. Dietrich Enns was originally a 19th round pick of the New York Yankees. Big league level, he pitched with the Minnesota Twins in 2017. He got into 2 big league games, including a start, and then he never saw the big leagues again until 2021. 4 years later with the Tampa Bay Rays. He appeared in 9 games last year for the Rays. He had an ERA of 2.82. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lofted into left center field. Ranging over is Brian O'Grady, and he makes the catch. That is going to retire Nomura for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Yukio Shudo. For Shudo, he's batting .302. He's got 3 homers and 9 runs batted in. He gets the nod tonight at third base. Shudo was in the lineup last night, as he is ready to face the lefty Enns, who works from the stretch with nobody on, and the first pitch is a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Last night, Shudo had the start at third base, and then he was pinch hit for by Nomura. So no balls and 1 strike. Here comes Enns with the offering again. And he kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. Defensively tonight for the Seibu Lions in the outfield from left to right, it's Brian O'Grady in left. The center fielder is Shohei Suzuki. The right fielder is Ito. Around the horn from first to third, it's Hitaki Yamakawa at first. The second baseman is Shuta Tanesaki. Suzuki Genda's at short and Nin-Ting Wu at third. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side. It is fielded by Tanesaki. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Shudo on a ground out 4-3 for out number 2. It's going to leave it all up to Yuki Yanagita. Of course, the battery tonight is of Dietrich Enns and Yuto Koga. One of the things I thought about is that when Tomoya Mori is not catching. If they use Koga behind the plate, they're certainly behind in holding runners or keeping runners in check because of the catcher. So maybe rolling them out for lefties is something that they need to have. Our friend Troy's in the house tonight. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded softly to second, fielded by Tonosaki, and he throws to first. And that's a pretty quick inning for Dietrich Enns. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now through one complete. It is the Seibu Seibu Lions 1, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back and chat with the chat after this. 1-0 Lions.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel, and in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. It is going to be the top half of the second inning. It is going to be Brian O'Grady, Yukio Yudo Koga, and Shohei Suzuki, as this is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to face Tsuyoshi Wada. So they catching up a little bit on the chat here. Our friend Troy says, good pitchers or hitting teams tonight. Well, in this one here, I would have to say that it would probably be decent pitchers and two pretty good hitting teams. So I'm not sure where that is. I always say good pitching beats good hitting all day long. There's the first pitch from Wada. It's a fastball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Jody has asked the question, how you feel about stuff. There's a lot of people when you sit in here, Jody, that people will be talking about the NPB and their betting. I don't do any betting, but we do talk about it. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and the count is 1-1. At the top of the stream, some of the people had laid out if they thought that Fukuoka or the others were going to do it, but we aren't a betting stream, we're a play-by-play stream. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball that is grounded over to first. It is fielded neatly by Kurose, and he races over the bag and takes it himself, and that is going to retire O'Grady on a ground out to 3 for out number 1. It's going to bring up the catcher, Yuto Koga. We've got our friend Mick3Y official in the house here. Friend Quaff says about the Giants game, went over the 8 runs. We were talking about that earlier in the other stream. Asked me if I thought it would or not, and I said I had a little bit of concern because of the park dynamics. Drew Smiley was going against, I forget who was starting tonight. Was it Rodon for the Giants? There's a first pitch fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. The concern that I would have had there would have been the park. If they were playing in Wrigley, I would have said that would have been a no-brainer. Smiley got chased for 5 runs in 4 innings. There's a fastball that misses up, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. But Jody asked the question, what do you feel about under 7 in this one? There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Well, I think that both of these starting pitchers, as I said, if they could get through the first inning, they could be very tough. But the other part is the Lions have one of the better bullpens in the NPB, and also Fukuoka's got a pretty tough bullpen. So if the scoreline is a 2-1 game going into the 6th inning, this game could be locked down very easily under 7. There is a breaking ball in the dirt, and that is taken for a ball. They appeal down to the first base umpire, who said that Koga didn't go, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Center fielder Shohei Suzuki waits his turn on deck, and here comes the offering from Wada. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and count now goes to 3-2. 24 pitches in the first inning for Wada. And one would have to think that he won't be around long like some of the other pitchers. I would say when he gets north of 80 pitches, the fire alarm bell is going to be out for him. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. Wada rocks into the motion. He kicks and he fires. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed. It is dropped by Kai. He throws down to first. And that is going to retire Koga for the second out of the inning. It's going to go down in the books as a strikeout, 2-3 for the putout. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Shohei Suzuki. Brian De Zara says Wada's former MLB team was the Cubs. I think he was 2 seasons in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. He was fairly effective. We mentioned earlier before the Lions are wearing that mustard color outfit for a uniform. It's a third jersey. Here's the first pitch to Suzuki. It's a changeup swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Defensively for the Hawks tonight, from left to right, it's Yorizabel Graciel in left. Katsuro Yanagamachi's in center. The right fielder is Yuki Yanagita. Around the horn, it is Kurose Makihara. The shortstop is Nomura, and the third baseman is Shudo. There's a raking ball that misses, and the count is now 1-1. Of course, the battery is Wada and Mori. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it is a fastball that just misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. Brian says, any idea what his velo is these days? Yeah, I'll check and keep my eye on it a little bit here. It's certainly not north of 95. There's a breaking ball that misses. So I was at 134 kilometers an hour. So that last pitch would have been around 80 miles an hour, 81 miles an hour. So we'll see what his fastball checks in at. Here's the 3-1 offering. There's a fastball that's misses upstairs. That's going to be ball 4 as Wada has walked him. That last pitch would have been at about 90 miles an hour. Suzuki is aboard with a 2-out walk, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Shida Tonosaki. Our friend Mick says, I stayed away from this one, but I got Hanshin Tigers, the Lotte Giants, the Ladners, Kaiwum Heroes, all -1.5 on the run line. There you go, Jody, if you're still listening in. That gives you some ideas there. And here's the first pitch from Wada. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Tonosaki. Tonosaki's 1 for 1 tonight. He scored the first run of the ball game and only run of the game, as it was a double down the left field line that bled in. Sort of fell in that Bermuda Triangle between the third baseman, the shortstop, and the left fielder. And there's a fastball that catches the outside corner. A late call by the home plate umpire. It's going to run the count to 1-1. That's the one thing we talked about this umpire tonight. We've seen him before. And he's really, really delayed and deliberate with his calls. I just got to hang in there and make sure I don't jump to a conclusion. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. As Wada holds at the belt, and now kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to the shortstop, but it gets off the glove of the shortstop into left field, and it's by Nomura. I don't think they would have had it play at first base. I'm curious to see how they're going to rule that, and it is going to be ruled a hit. As Tonosaki's got himself a single. It's his second hit of the night. It advances Suzuki over to second, but that's going to bring Suzuki Genda to the plate. The shortstop Nomura had to go to the backhand side. He slid to one knee, ended up going off the outside of the glove and trickling into left field. Even if he made the play, I don't know if he would have had the arm to go across the diamond to retire the speedy Tonosaki. So Genda comes up to the plate. He had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. I doubt with 2 outs he's going to be sacrificing. Of course, that would end the inning. So here comes the first offering from the lefty. Kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So for those of you who are new here or new to the channel, we appreciate you guys checking in. Be sure to bookmark our channel because we do announce when we're going to be doing games. We are going to be calling NPB games all this week. So if you're up late or early, depending on what part of North America you're in, will be calling some of the stuff as a breaking ball is taken for a called strike. So that means that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday games in Japan, Saturday, we're going to call 5 of them. Our CV baseball card collectors also in the house here. Appreciate you for checking back in again. So here comes the 1-1 offering. Wada checks the runner at second. Now he kicks and delivers, and it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. 2-1 now to Genda. Well, I'll say this, that the way this is going, I'm not so sure that we're going to see a long start here for Wada. Our friend Mick says $10 to try to make 222. It's a pretty good return on that. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Genda as he fouled off that last pitch. The runner at second is Suzuki. The runner at first, Tonosaki. And here comes the offering from the lefty Wada. He holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And Genda has gone on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Lions threaten, but they don't score. They strand a pair. There was no runs. There was a hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left. We are now moving to the bottom of the 2nd inning. It is the Seibu Seibu Lions 1, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call after this. Here is our friend Matt. Be sure to check out his channel after the game.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. It is going to be the heart of the batting order coming up for the Hawks. That's Alfredo Despaigne, Taisi Makihara, and Yurizabel Graciel. As we are going to be picking up the action here. Dietrich Enns, as we were talking a little bit about him in the last half inning, out of the major leagues for 4 years, made his debut with the Minnesota Twins, and then returned last year, pitched 9 games for the Rays. He'd worked 22 1/3 big league innings, allowing 17 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned. He struck out 25. But one would have to think at his age, as he's 31, that they were probably going to tell him that, look, we'll invite you to spring training with it, or give you a minor league contract with an invite to spring training. He took the option to come over to Japan, and I would say that more of the money would probably have to do with something like that. Sometimes people ask and they say, what's the money like? He probably got a 1-year, $750,000 deal. And here's the first pitch to Despaigne. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and we were talking about the Luis Castillo trade. So I understand there was a altercation last week, and there's a fastball swung on it, is lined up the middle. It's going to be a leadoff single here for Despaigne. He's aboard with the single here to start the bottom of the 2nd inning. So the word on the street is that Noelvi Marte, who is with the Mariners, was in a fight a couple of weeks ago with one of his teammates. Don't know which teammate it was down in A-ball. And so apparently Noelvi Marte, he's the top prospect in the Mariners organization. I guess his teammates like to tease him a little bit. Apparently he had enough of the teasing, and he grabbed one of his teammates by the throat and shoved him into the locker, and wanted to give him a bit of a necktie and be hauled off by a couple of his other teammates. That's what we've heard. I don't know if that's truth or lore. And there's a first pitch that is a fastball. I'll say unconfirmed reports, as that is taken up high for a ball, and the count is 1-0. But I will say that I do have pretty good sources where that information did come from. So anyways, he was moved to Cincinnati, so that is the way it goes. Not the first time that teammates and guys get into fights in the locker room. I think of when Gene Segura and D. Gordon were teammates, and there's a fastball swung on it. It is grounded through the 4-hole into left field. And stopping at second base is Despania, and Taisi Makihara has got himself a base hit here, and that's going to put runners at first and second with nobody out, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Eurizabel Graciel. Saying that's where you've heard in teammates before, where Gene Segura and D. Gordon were teammates in Seattle, and toward the end of the season one year when they were still teammates, they got into an altercation in the locker room, and Segura was pretty much jettisoned pretty quick, and D. Gordon not much far after. So Graciel steps to the plate. He's batting .287. He's got 5 homers and 26 runs batted in on the year. Bats from the left side with runners at first and second and nobody gone. Enns has got himself in a little bit of a jam here. As the left-hander Enns checks the runner at second and he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Enns. Graciel waggling the bat, waiting on the 0-1 offering from Enns. He checks the runner at second. He checks him again, and now he delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The other games tonight around the NPB, some later starts on our hands. Yet again, as everything else is going to go off at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. Eastern time here in North America, as there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. One game that's going to go off at 4 a.m. Eastern or 1 a.m. Pacific is the Oryx Buffaloes and Chibalote Marines. So this is the only game going on right now tonight. As we mentioned, we are going to be giving some calls of some games in the next little bit, and we are going to be doing the midweek action. So hopefully you guys can pop in for that. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're kind of leaning towards the Chibalote Marines and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles midweek. We'll have to check the forecast on that, because I'm always concerned. I don't want to call a game that's going to be raining. The other option we were looking at is the Oryx Buffaloes and Seibu Seibu Lions, and maybe doing that series as well. But I will stay off the Fukuoka Hokkaido series. There's a fastball swung on it, is jammed, and this ball is going to get down in front of Suzuki. And that is going to move everybody up a base, as Eurizabel Graciel's got a single, and that's going to load the bases. That was a complete bleeder. So now the bases are full of Lions. It's going to bring the pitching coach out. And we've got Despania at third, Makihara at second, and Graciel, the runner, at first. So the Hawks are flapping their wings here. Our friend Mick says this is the best that Fukuoka has done all series. Yeah, they strung together 3 hits. They've loaded the bases up. Our friend Mick says, go Oryx. Our friend Troy says, I'd take you over Matt Shepard for the Tigers any day. Well, maybe when I'm in Detroit, we can have a deal on that one. Our friend Troy, who's a Michigander, the pitcher right now for the Seibu Seibu Lions, played his college ball at Central Michigan University for the Chippewas. Angelo Manolaris has come in and wants to know how many outs. Well, stick around with us, Angelo, and we're glad you're here with us. We'll keep you updated on everything. So the bases are loaded full of Hawks here in the bottom of the second inning. There's nobody gone. It's going to bring Tatsuro Yanagamachi to the plate. He's batting left-handed against the left-hander Enns. And here comes the first offering from Enns. He checks the runners. And now he kicks and delivers. And it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. The defense has got the runners, or the defense is the corners are in. They're in a double play depth up the middle, looking to hunt for two. As the lefty matchup is about to continue. Enns has slowed his pace down a little bit here. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded up the middle, past the diving shortstop Genda into center field. One run is in. The throw comes in and it is cut off. They're going to hold Makihara at third, and that is going to even the score at ones. Yanagamachi has got a base hit single. That's 4 straight singles in a row by the Hawks. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Kenta Kurose, as he steps to the plate for his second NPB at bat. So for those of you who were in the stream with us last night, Kurose came up as a pinch hitter late in the ball game. He's one of the training players, and he is wearing number 126. This has got to be one of my favorite numbers of all time. Here he is wearing number 126. If the New York Yankees keep retiring numbers, we might possibly have to be able to start issuing those type of numbers to the New York Yankees. Well, the big fella here steps in. They list him as wearing number 12, but it's clearly 126 on the jersey. He's a training player. And he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. He made his NPB debut last night. And he was retired in only one at bat. Our question from Steve Rademacher says, after the game, and there's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 1-1. Are we going to do the rematch between the Brewers and the Red Sox? I'll have to look to see what's going on there. I'm going to do a doubleheader tomorrow. I know I'm going to do the Cubs-Giants, the Sunday nighter. Just have to look and see what the daytime games have to offer. Thought about doing that Red Sox-Brewer game today. Kind of glad I didn't do it. The Padre game was actually entertaining. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. As Enns delivers, it's a fastball that misses outside. The count now goes to 2-1 on Kurose. I hope I'm saying his last name right. It's Kurose. So the big fella here is heading the count at 2-1. Looks like it's a better crowd in Fukuoka tonight. There were a lot of empty seats when they panned the crowd last night. Looks like they've got themselves decent attendance for this one. So here we go as the right-handed hitter Kurose gets set. Umpires put the game back into play, and here comes the offering now from Enns. He holds set at the belt, and now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. Kurose has now found the count even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. That last pitch really fell off the table. A good stop by the catcher Koga. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Takuya Kai, the catcher, is waiting his turn on deck. So here we go back to the action. The lefty Enns kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This lifted into deep left field. It should be deep enough for the run. You're tagging at third, and heading home is Makihara. The throw is not going to be in time. It's going to get cut off. It's going to be a sacrifice fly for Kurose. He's going to get himself his first NPB RBI. And that is going to be the second run of the inning as Makihara comes home to score. It's now a 2-1 ball game for the Hawks. And that's going to bring up the catcher Takuya Kai. So the big fella does his job. He cashes in with a sac fly. There's no throw. The throw was offline. So that is going to bring a smile to his face as he's been able to get a run in for the Hawks. It is now 2-1 Fukuoka. So this under is not looking too good right now. As we were talking earlier on about, is it going to be an under or is it going to be an over? Lots of action on the base paths tonight. So Kai steps up to the plate. He's batting .230. He's got no homers and 13 RBIs. Here's the first pitch. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Kai. Mick says, depending on the pitcher, might take the Brewers over his Red Sox. There's not a lot of options for the Red Sox pitching these days. The way that this game is going, or the way the Red Sox are going, I would think that they're probably buyers and sellers at the deadline. Here's the pitch. It is bunted down the third baseline. It's a good one. It is fielded by the third baseman. They throw to first, and that is going to retire Takuya Kai. And is going to be a sacrifice, 5-3 for the second out of the inning. Advancing to third is Graciel. Advancing to second is Yanagamachi. It wasn't a sacrifice bunt per se. It was actually a drag bunt down the third base line. Kai runs pretty good for a catcher, but just not good enough. He's got all smiles in the dugout. He gave himself a hard 90 down the line. It's going to bring up the top of the order. And Isami Nomura steps to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to left field his first time up. So the runner at third is Graciel. The runner at second, Yanagamachi. Base hit here would put a couple more runs on the board for the Hawks. So Enns comes set at the belt. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Nomura. So the way this game has gone, if we thought this was going to be a great pitching matchup at the beginning, it has turned a little bit sideways here as both teams are been able to figure out the pitchers early in this one. 2-1 is the scoreline for the Hawks. Holding the ball at the belt is the lefty Enns, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count is now 0-2 to Nomura. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we said, we are going to be making some announcements of our weekly schedule. So hopefully after this one here, if you make sure you bookmark us and check it out so that you can see what we're calling. But we are going to be doing NPB games all this week. That'll be the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday games in the NPB. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 1-2. We will, however, not be calling the Saturday night game next week. No matter what happens, we are going to be taking that one off. And so here comes the 1-2 offering now to Nomura. The crowd is making their noise. They got the thunder sticks going, beating in unison. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And now time is called as they step out. And now as time is called, Mick announces, says he just got the ESPN notification that Amanda Nunez won by unanimous decision. So those who have been checking out for the UFC stuff, we got Mick 3 holding it down in here, letting everybody know. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Enns kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses inside. The count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch did not miss far off the inside corner of the plate to Nomura. It'll be interesting to see if Enns now goes away with something soft. So Enns gets the sign from his catcher. He shakes off Koga the first time, shakes him off again, shakes him a third time. And now time is called, and they're going to cycle through these signs again. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nomura gives the sign to his pitcher Enns, and Enns now comes set at the belt. And he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nomura. So Koga and Enns are not on the same page right now. I remember when Mark Burley pitched in the big leagues for the Chicago White Sox, he used to have a thing where he would rarely ever shake off his catchers. His philosophy was, you put the number down, I'll make the pitch. They said it barely shook you off. It may have been only 4 or 5 times a year. And there's a changeup that is swung on and missed. And Nomura goes down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for Fukuoka in their half of the 2nd inning. But damage has been done. They get 2 runs in the inning on 4 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We're now through 2 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, the Seibu Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 3rd inning after this. Glad you guys could be here with us tonight. Here is one of our Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 3rd inning, and it is going to be coming up the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the order for the Seibu Seibu Lions. That means it's going to be Tomoya Mori, Hataka Yamakawa, and Ning-Ting Wu to face the veteran lefty Tsuyoshi Wada. Wada is ready to go back to work here, but this time he's got a 2-1 lead. It has not been an easy night for either left-hander. It started off fairly efficient in the 1st inning for the Seibu starter as he retired the Hawks in order 1, 2, 3, but 4 consecutive hits to start the bottom of the 2nd inning have now put the Hawks ahead 2-1 here. As Wada goes into motion and he delivers the first pitch to Mori, it is a breaking ball that misses down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. This is the 3rd game of a 3-game set. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Last night we called this game between these 2 teams, and it was a 6-0 affair for the Lions. There's a breaking ball that Mori checked his swing on, but he couldn't hold up in time, and that is going to be called a strike. So that's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. It looked like he lost his footing in the batter's box and sent him for a bit of a twirl. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wada ready to go back to work. He rocks in the motion and delivers. And there is a fastball swung on it. Is lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. It's cut off as Graciel moves toward the foul line. He picks it up and fires it back in. And he's got himself a single, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Hataka Yamakawa. For Yamakawa, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled his first time up. So Mori, the runner at first. Yamakawa stepping to the plate. Last night he missed a home run by all of about 6 inches as he hammered a ball to right field. Just missed clearing the fence. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector says, so if Ohtani gets 30 homers, 100 RBIs, 200 strikeouts, and 12 to 15 wins, is he the AL MVP? And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that's delivered for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Well, statistically, I definitely think he's the MVP of his team. I don't know if he's the most valuable player on a team that doesn't have to play any October games or any September games, anything in the pennant race to help propel his team into the playoffs should be counted for. They're not going to be in a chance to make the playoffs. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. Our friend Eric Cheng is in the house. He says, good evening, everybody. Just finished watching the UFC event. We were told Amanda Nunez won it. That was what Mick told us earlier. I've never been a huge UFC fan. I appreciate the athleticism of those people that are participating. I like that a lot. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses down. You peel over to the first base umpire, but they say he didn't go, and the count's now 2-1 to Yamakawa. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector says, yeah, without Ohtani, the Angels might have only 30 wins right now. Maybe not even. Maybe like 20 wins. He is an important part to that team. There's no doubt about it. It's kind of like Cy Young Award winners who finish on last place teams. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count's 2-2. They statistically might have the best numbers, but then you start asking, you say, hey, did you have to pitch in a playoff race when you've got 50,000 crazy New Yorkers screaming at you? You know, and those are always questions that you have to ask. It's not just all about the numbers. It's the numbers in the context of what you're playing under. So that would be the one thing. Yeah, Ohtani's got MVP numbers. Does he have MVP numbers in a pressure cooker situation? There's a fastball that misses upstairs. Count runs to 3-2. So no doubt an MVP for his team. So then the question comes in, who's the MVP for the league? Well, you have to say, like, Aaron Judge right now is putting up some unbelievable offensive numbers in his contract year. I think he hit his 42nd home run. Was it yesterday or today? It was the 3-2 offering now to Yamakawa as Wada kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. They appeal down to first base, and they say that he didn't go, and that's going to put Yamakawa on with a base on balls. It's going to advance Mori to second. A friend Logan pops in here and he asks the question. And he says, do you bet on Japanese baseball games? I don't personally, but there are a number of people that are in our chat who do. As they talk about it, we do talk about it regularly, the over-unders, what you got for the first five, what you got for the game, what you think the scores are going to be. So if you sit in with us and you listen in the chat, and you'll be able to get in on some of that stuff, as some of the people do enjoy the action. Not just listening, but also the action of betting. So that brings Nin Ting Wu to the plate. And here comes the first offering, but instead, Wada does the spaghetti move, and it forces the runner back to second. We got Samuel Sklar in the house tonight as well. Welcome back, Samuel. You were in here last night. We appreciate you returning. Our CV Baseball Card Collector says that Ohtani hit his third of the game. Our friend The Living Room is in the house here. He says number 126 for MVP. He's actually in the starting lineup tonight. There's a breaking ball swung on, and this is lifted foul over on the third base side. The count is now 0-1 to Wu. Wu tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He was called out looking for the second out of the first inning. Our friend Logan says he's one of those guys. He's got the over 6 for the game. Well, if you took the over 6, you're probably sitting pretty, because I have a feeling that there's going to be some more runs scored, maybe as early as this inning here. Here comes the one-strike pitch to Nin Ting Wu, and there's a breaking ball that misses down and away. Runs the count to 1-1. Our friend Brian says, Samuel, you on those Hawks? And he says, no, but my friends are, and I'd like to see some winning picks. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is to the left-handed hitting Wu. Here's the pitch from Wada. It's breaking ball swung on, and it's tapped foul just past the bag at first base. It's going to run the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nin Ting Wu. As we said earlier, we're going to set up a full schedule of Japanese games Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday North American time. We're not going to do the Sunday Japanese game next week. So a week from today, we'll take that one off. It'll be a busy week ahead for the NPB for us. So Wada holds at the belt. Checks the runner at second, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This is lofted into right center field. Moving over on it is Yanagamachi. He makes the catch, tagging at second and heading to third, and sliding in safely is going to be Tomoya Mori. So that's going to be a fly out as Yanagamachi makes the catch for out number 1. That's going to put runners on the corners with 1 away. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Ito. So for Ito tonight, he is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. The Lions are threatening to score more here again. 60 pitches so far in 2 1/3 innings for Wada. Samuel says, where are you broadcasting from? You're in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, on the Pacific Coast. We have Gordon in here. He says, let's go Lions. And we've got Mr. LH wanting to know how many outs and how many on the bases. So just hang tight. You'll listen in. If you follow along with us, you'll get all the information. So the runner at third is Mori. The runner at first is Yamakawa. There is 1 gone here in the 3rd inning. And Ito is at the plate. He bats from the right side against the left-handed throwing Wada. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses inside. The count is 1-0. Ito tonight, as long as he stays out of a double play and doesn't pop it up, he's got a chance to get himself an RBI here. He does have 17 on the season. Our friend Brian says, let's roll one here. The Hawks could use a double play to get out of this jam. Here comes the 1-0 offering. As Wada delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up on the right side. It's playable. Moving over underneath it is our favorite player, number 126, Kurosi. And he makes the catch, and that is going to retire Ito. I just finished saying the words out of my mouth. Got to keep it out of the air. And he popped it up. That is an instant rally killer for sure. As he is gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Brian O'Grady. So for O'Grady, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. He hit a home run in the opening game of this series on Friday night. But he went quietly last night in the ball game. He digs in on the left side, ready to face the left-hander Wada. Last night he didn't have a hit. He was 0 for 3 and he had a walk. So Wada holds set at the belt. He checks the runner at first, and now he kicks and fires. That's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to O'Grady. O'Grady has those 13 homers on the season. He does have some juice. Early in the year, he was up in the 2 and 3 spots in the batting order, but as the teams have seen him, he's been attacked a little bit differently, and he's been dropped down to the batting order as he's not been able to adjust back to the NPB pitching quite yet. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The dome is closed again in Fukuoka. I've only seen it one time this year where they've had the dome open. Most of the time, the dome has been closed. So here comes the 1-1 offering. As Wada kicks and delivers, it is a breaking ball that misses down and away. Runs the count to 2-1. I wonder what the rationale for that would be. I don't know always the weather patterns. I've not been to Fukuoka. It is in the western part of the country. Furthest west I've gone has been to Osaka. I don't even know if you want to consider that to be west. More central west, if anything. If you haven't had a chance to get to Japan, make sure you put it on your bucket list. It's a great place to go. Once we can get through some of this stuff that's going on in our world, hopefully we can get back there again. 2 balls and 1 strike to the left-handed hitting O'Grady. The lefty Wada delivers. It's a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. The count is 2-2. We have Jumpy as God listening on Twitch, and he says, is SoftBank batting again? Nope. It's still the site of a Seibu Lions. We are in the top of the 3rd inning. Runners are on the corners with 2 gone, and here comes the 2-2 pitch to O'Grady. Wada really slows down when he's got runners on base. wipes the sweat off, and now he's ready to go again. Grady is waggling the bat. Now he asks for time as he steps out. He's got something in his eye, and he's trying to wipe the sweat out of his face. So Grady steps back in the box. He waggles the bat, waiting on the offering here from the lefty Wada. Wada gets his sign from his catcher, Takuya Kai. He comes set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses outside. And the count now goes to 3-2. So with 3-2, the runner, Yamakawa, is going to be off to the races at first base. Be always worth keeping an eye on him because it might be a free pickoff. That's the one thing I've noticed with a lot of the Japanese lefties, at least in the Pacific League. Not really seen a lot of good moves out of the lefties. That's not to say that everybody doesn't, but I can't say anybody in particular has got an A-plus move. And here's the pitch from Wada. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded foul over on the first base side, and that's going to keep the count at 3-2 strikes. He must have went to the John Lester school of pickoffs, because John Lester was certainly not very good in his big league career and his potential Hall of Fame career. With the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Cardinals. I think he was even with the Nationals at the end. So 3-2 strikes to O'Grady. This is going to be the 69th pitch of the ball game. Here's the offering from Wada. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And O'Grady is down on strikes for the third out of the inning. So they threaten, but they don't score. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left the board. That's 6 runners now left on base by the Lions in the first 3 innings of this one. Your score is Fukuoka 2 and the Saitama Seibu Lions 1. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd inning in just a couple moments, everybody. We appreciate you all for being here. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this from our friend Steve Rademacher.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you there, Steve. It's 2-1, and we're heading to the bottom of the 3rd. We'll be right back after this in about 40 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. We got BJ in the house saying, come on, Saitama Seibu Lions. We have a lot of group in the house. We normally get a lot of Hawk fans that come in here. It is going to be the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the order. It'll be Yukio Shudo, Yuki Yanagita, and Alfredo Despania to get things going here. The Hawks got both of their runs in the 2nd inning after they had 4 consecutive singles. A sacrifice fly by Kenta Kurose that has put the Hawks up in front 2-1. So Dietrich ends back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work, and he delivers a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Shudo had squared a bunt but pulled back on that one. 32 pitches for the American lefty in the first 2 innings of this one. So here comes the offering now from Enns as he kicks and delivers. And again, a bunt that is lately squared on. It has popped up into foul territory, and it is caught by the 3rd baseman. A nice play by Nin-Ting Wu, who raced in to be able to catch it. It's going to retire Shudo for the first out of the inning here. It's going to bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. Friend Eric Cheng says, no rooting interest in the winner, but need 3 runs from the Lions. That was a blown opportunity. The Lions really haven't cashed in here. They've stranded 6 runners in the first 3 innings. They've squandered opportunities to be able to drive guys in. They've got the runners on. They just can't do anything with it other than that first run of the ball game. There's the first pitch breaking ball that is swung out and missed by Yanagita. The count is 0-1. Friend Brian says, do you ever do KBO broadcasts or just NPB? I don't do anything at all with the KBO. There's a fastball that is swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, but it's just going to slice foul in front of the temporary seatings, and that's going to run the count to 0-2. I have to admit, I don't do the KBO because I really don't know the players as well, and I don't know the league. I think if I had to do other sports, I could probably do basketball, maybe football, that type of stuff, but other leagues, it becomes hard if you don't really know the players. Here comes the 0-2 offering. It's a breaking ball that's waved at in the dirt. And Yanagita swings and misses, and he's going to be retired 2-3. That's something that you don't see in you don't usually see in North American baseball. So Yanagita struck out. He didn't run hard all the way down the line. He cut out about 70% of the way down the line. There's an unwritten rule in baseball in the United States, and sometimes you'll see players, they'll hear about it at the big league level if they don't do it, and that is you got to run through the bag and touch at least first base or get to the bag, unless you hit a screaming line drive. If you hit a screaming line drive and you take 2 steps out of the box, not a big deal. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. But if you hit a ground ball or a pop-up or whatever, run hard through the base, punish yourself for a poor swing. And Yanagita didn't really do that. So 1 ball and no strikes to Despania. Here's the offering from Enns. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count now goes even to 1-1. Despania tonight is 1 for 1. He singled and scored a run his first time up. And here comes the 1-1 offering. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count's now 1-2. Brian says, Canadian football broadcast could be cool for us Americans. I'm not really a huge Canadian football fan. Our friend, the living room who was in here earlier, likes to listen to or watch his Canadian football. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Despania. And here's the pitch from Enns. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 2-2. I will say this, that if you would have asked me when I was a young guy growing up, there was a no-brainer. I loved watching the American National Football League. Was a season ticket holder for the Detroit Lions for 5 seasons. The last 5 years of Barry Sanders' career. Happened to give him up. And then thank goodness we did when we did, because he retired. Just to make that drive up I-75 to the Pontiac Silverdome 8 to 10 times a year. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and Despania is down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. And so Enns retires the side in order 1-2-3 here like he did in the first. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 3 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, the Seibu Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 4th inning after this. We appreciate you guys all for being here to check us out tonight. Hang tight. Here is our friend Steve Rademacher again. Be sure to check out his channel after the game.
Domo arigato. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm new at this. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball. Tell all your friends and family to come check him out, ask some questions during the telecast, and give him a good sub and a thumbs up. And this is Steve coming back at you. And some new things on my channel. Star Wars figures that everybody likes. We have Mad magazines from the 1970s. We try to avoid the Noid. And for your pleasure, once in a while, we can open up Michael Jackson if you want, the cards. We have Elvis. We have Sadahar O. We love everything that is everything, so we even have the Beatles fighting with lightsabers. Look at that, John and George. Once in a while, we'll even have my brother take over my channel on a Tuesday. So once again, Everybody tell your friends, come see Freddie at Last Raps Baseball. And right now, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Lions here in their half of the fourth inning. It'll be Koga, Suzuki, and Tonosaki to face the left-hander Wada. 69 pitches through the first 3 innings for Tsuyoshi Wada, as he is going to be facing Koga here for the second time. Koga's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. We appreciate Gordon for subbing to the channel. I got you there. Thank you very kindly. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1. Our friend Arizona Cardinals is back in here as well. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted foul behind home plate. The count goes to 1-2 on Koga. He says it's 6.5. Do you think it's safe? I don't think it's safe at all tonight, the way that this game has gone, because the Lions have had all kinds of chances to score some runs here. Stranded the runners on all over the place. And there's a breaking ball swung on. It is tapped over the head of the pitcher. It is fielded by the second baseman, Makihara. He throws on the run. And that is going to retire Koga on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Shohei Suzuki. Brian says we're not safe after last night. Nope, I think so. I think you're right. So Suzuki steps to the plate. He walked his first time up. He was stranded at second base. So he's going to get his second chance off of Wada here. As the lefty rocks into the motion and delivers, there's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend Brian asked the question in the last inning about the Canadian football broadcasts. If you would ask me years ago, I would have said I would much rather watch American football than the Canadian game. There's a breaking ball that missed down and away, and the count is now 1-1. I'd officiated the Canadian game for a number of years, and I have to say, I really started to like the style of play, just the size of the field. It opened it up a little bit more. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded past the third baseman into left field. That's going to be a base hit with 1 away here for Suzuki. That's going to bring the top of the order, Shuta Tonosaki, to the plate. So for Tonosaki, he's 2 for 2 tonight. He's got the only run for the Lions. He doubled in the first inning. He singled in the second. So he's having himself a pretty decent series. He had a single, a stolen base, and a walk in last night's game. So Tonosaki steps up to the plate. Back to Brian. So I did enjoy the rules of the Canadian game and the 3-down football. Did a little bit of work for the CFL when first came out to this part of the province about 14 years ago. And then hung it up, said, I don't have any other interest. I've seen enough. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Tonosaki. I was saying that my neighbor is one of the, or former neighbor, his dad lives not too far from me, but was the first Canadian official in the National Football League. Just completed his 3rd year. I believe this is going to be his 4th season working games in the NFL. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1, and he was working as a deep umpire, if I'm not mistaken. A friend of the living room is in the house. He says he missed the CFL talk. And there's your guy right there. Brian said about maybe doing Canadian football broadcasts would be cool for the Americans that listen in. So we're talking about the Canadian game a little bit. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Tonosaki. Here comes the offering from the lefty Wada, but he throws over to first. Diving back safely is the runner Suzuki. So the runner at first is Suzuki. There's 1 away. We're here in the top of the 4th inning. It is 1 ball and 1 strike to Tonosaki. As we said, Wada really slows the pace down when runners get on base on him. He holds set at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner. Runs the count to 1-2. I used to follow the CFL a little bit more when I had former teammates that were playing in it. Quite a few guys. Nobody that I went to high school with directly that played, but guys I played with at college that ended up getting to the show. There was Dan Comiskey. He had like a 17-year career with Edmonton and Calgary and Saskatchewan. It was like lining up in practice against them almost every day against a 315-pound tackle. It was not a whole lot of fun. And there's a fastball swung on it. It's drilled to deep center field. Drifting back underneath it is Yana Gamachi in front of the warning track. He makes the catch. And that is going to retire Tonosaki for out number 2. He sent it for a ride. But unfortunately, it was to the deepest part of the ballpark. He's gone for out number 2. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Suzuki Genda. One of my buddies, Norm Casola, spent 4 years with the Toronto Argonauts, got a chance to win a couple of Grey Cup rings. When Doug Flutie was the quarterback for the Argos. Fortunately for Norm, he passed away in August of 1998. He had cancer. He played the year going through treatment and different stuff, and really nobody knew until after the season that he was in as bad a shape as he was. Pretty much a sad story. Right in the prime of his life. Hard to believe it's almost 25 years ago. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1 to Genda. We got Frankie A in the house here. He says he's made some money on the UFC and Major League Baseball today. It's awesome, Frankie. Anytime you can pick up a few extra bucks, that goes far, especially today. So no balls and 1 strike, and Wada flips it over to first. There goes the runner off to second. They throw down to second, and that is going to retire the base runner, Suzuki. He's been caught stealing. That's going to go 1-3-6 as he was picked off for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the fourth. There was no runs. There was a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is the Saitama Seibu Lions trailing the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2-1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few minutes with the call after this from our friend of the channel, Steve Rademacher. Hang tight, everybody. Here's Steve.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you guys. We'll be back in just a moment after this. Hang tight. We got all the action coming here in 30 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is going to be Taisi Makihara, Yurizabel Graciel, and Tetsuro Yanagamachi here to face the left-hander Dietrich Enns. Our friend Arizona Cardinals says, do you sports bet? Not too often. We used to have a fantasy football pool that I was in for probably about 20 years. I stopped that probably at about maybe 2013, 14, around that time. Did it for about 20 years, me and a bunch of buddies and stuff. And then I ran it for a few and some of that stuff. So that sort of more interests me than anything else is the fantasy pools. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1, especially when you can go head-to-head. The day-to-day betting or the gambling stuff that way, I'm not really huge into it. I do it every once in a while. So we go and check out some of that stuff, but nothing that's a regular beat here. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to second. It is fielded by Tonosaki. He throws to first. That is going to retire Makihara on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the left fielder, Yurizabel Graciel. So, yeah, to answer your question, once in a while, I don't really do a whole lot. I did a couple of weeks ago, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, with all the talk of the over-under. I went out and put a few bucks down on some games and, of course, came up short. So I don't get into it. I don't follow it tightly enough. Certainly certain sports, I feel like I'd have to know a little bit more. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Graciel. Our friend Frankie A asked the question, who do you think wins this one? Well, this game has got a weird vibe to it. I would say that the Hawks may be in command here because the Lions have really squandered a lot of opportunities. I also think that Tsuyoshi Wada is going to be done for the night the way that it looks like he is in the dugout. I don't know if he's going to come back out for another inning. We'll have to wait and see on this one. Here comes the offering from Enns. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2 or 2-1 on Graciel. He says, Frankie says, do you think that the Hawks will win today because they lost yesterday? I just think that the way this game is going, it's a bad vibe. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 3-1 to Graciel. Dylan Hoffman is in the house here tonight, and he says, guys, I need over 6 runs. Do you think I'm good? Well, when it gets into the back end of these bullpens here, the scoring is going to have to take place here in the next couple innings because both of the bullpens are lights out this year. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep center field. Racing back is Suzuki, and he's going to watch this one sail into the seats. A home run by Graciel to straightaway center field, and that is going to extend the lead for the Hawks to 3-1. That ball was absolutely crushed. It was a rainmaker for sure as Graciel finishes his trot around the bases. So now it is a 3-1 ball game for the Hawks here, and that's going to bring up the center fielder Tatsuro Yanagamachi. Our friend Dylan says he dropped $300. I don't know if you need the 6 runs in the first 5 or if that's for the total ball game, but yeah, I would say you better get your runs here and now. Our friend Brian is here. He says, let's go Hawks. Dylan says, do you think we'll get some more runs? And there's a first pitch breaking ball that misses down to Yanagamachi, and the count is 1-0. What I think here is the runs have got to come in this inning here in the 5th inning, because as soon as you start getting into the 7th, 8th, and 9th, the bullpens are going to lock down. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-0. So I think the runs have to be scored in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. There's a chance, because once you get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th, both the Lions and the Hawks have pretty much lights out bullpens. So that could be a bit of a problem. Our friend Ali wants to know, there's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. If we're going to do any other games tonight, to be honest with you, I wasn't planning on it. Although it could be on the docket if I feel good. I'd have to see how that feel come around 1 o'clock in the morning, how this one wraps up, and if we have time to be able to jump on the next one. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as Yanagamachi fouls that one off. There's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The home run by Graciel has increased the lead to 3-1 for the Hawks. Yanagamachi is batting here. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He's also driven in a run. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count goes to 3-2. Dylan says the full game for over 6. Yeah, well, I think you've got to get these runs here in the next couple innings. Certainly the 6 runners that were left on base by the Seibu Seibu Lions in the first 3 innings tonight. And there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and Yanagamachi's got himself a base on balls here as he's aboard with a 1-out walk, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Kenta Kurose. Our friend Eric says, solid crowd in here. We would have to end this stream and do another one. I probably would be looking at, if I could, the possibility was to happen, and obviously which game we'd have to look at. And if I go back and take a peek at what is going on tonight, both of the games are 1 a.m. Pacific starts. If I had to pick a game, I'd do Oryx and Chiba. And that's not looking at their pitching. But it'll depend on what time this game finishes off at. If we can get this game wrapped up around midnight Pacific, I could probably stick around and do another game. If the game ends up dragging on to 12:30 and not being able to get a break, then maybe not. I'd have to create the stream and do a little bit of work on the back end, but it's doable. It could be done tonight. So here comes the offering from Ends. Instead, he throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner, Yanagamachi. Our new favorite player is Kenta Kurose. I say that because he's wearing number 126. He's at the plate right now. He got the start tonight. He made his NPB debut last night. He was 0 for 1. Tonight he had a sac fly and drove in a run his first time up. And he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So the big fella here getting the start at first base tonight. I want to see if there's going to be a run on stuff. We've got Dylan Hoffman. He says he just subbed to the channel. We appreciate you doing that. Brian also loving the channel too. There we go. Appreciate you there too. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. Counts 1-1. So Ali asked the question, what's the other possible game? I would stay away from Hokkaido, the Nippon Ham Fighters. I don't have any interest in doing their games right now as they're still too far adrift. That would be the option for me on that one there. Probably stay in the Pacific League. I just prefer the Pacific League over the Central League games. I like the pitching. I like the way it plays out a little bit better. But I will entertain some Central League games coming up here in the near future. So here comes the 1-1 offering. As Ends holds at the belt, he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 2-1. It'll bring some other people into the stream with us, I'm sure, who are fans of the Carp or the Giants. Our friend Frankie A says he's been subscribed for a while and appreciate you're still doing our thing. Yeah, we'll make this a busy week of NPB action this week. There's a fastball swung on and missed. It's going to run the count now to 2-2 on Kurose. Eric says Oryx and Chiba would be the better game at 1 a.m. Also have to look. I didn't check to see who the starters were in that game either. It'll be a more competitive game, or at least a game that would mean a little bit more, especially how tight the top 5 teams are in the standings. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and is fouled away straight back. Kurose does not get cheated on his cuts. That was a pretty big hack. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Alexander Leggett says he fell asleep on us last night. That's Fluby for those of you who don't know. Alexander, I have that way sometimes of putting people to sleep. But we're glad you're back in it here. Our friend asked the question, said, Ali wants to know, do we say Giants and Lions? Nope, it would be Lions and Buffaloes. For the late game, there's a fastball that is missing upstairs. Counts 3-2. Alexander Leggett, we're talking about yet doing another game here tonight. We're thinking about it. 1 a.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. Eastern, if you're going to be around. We haven't seen Vivid Life tonight. It's be a busy night in the hotel industry. When he checks in, make sure you let him know we've been taking attendance. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ends holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded foul just past the third base bag. It's going to be a bit of a battle that we've got going on here. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Alexander said he was trying to stay awake for the game, but getting by on 1 hour of sleep, ended up sleeping until I was late for work. Ooh, that's not good. He also says it's very busy, can confirm. Ali's looking at the KBO games for later on there. We're doing the NPB games. We don't do the KBO stuff. So the Lotte Giants and the Samsung Lions are in the KBO. So that's the stuff that you're looking at. This is the NBB action. Eric says it's Daiki Tajima and Kota Futaki that are going to be going head-to-head tonight. It's okay, Ali. Sometimes guys get that mixed up sometimes. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Enns. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and Kurose is going to earn himself a walk. That's a quality at bat there by the young right-handed stick. He's going to get himself a walk. He's aboard for the first time in his NPB career. It's going to advance Yanagamachi over to second. So the Hawks have runners at first and second with 1 out. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. And on the in-between, we've got the pitching coach on his way to the mound. Our friend Alexander says he'd tune in for another game because he got great sleep. There you go. We can have that way about us. We'll be able to put you to sleep. We had a certain type of crowd for a while that we had I think it was the British drag queens were listening to some of our broadcast as well. So we had a different type of audience that were coming in. Our friend the living room says you'll be sleeping by the end of the third. I did a couple games last year where the score was I stayed up and I did the game late and it was like 12-2 by the second inning or the end of the second inning. And I'm like, geez, here I got to call the rest of this game. And it's a 12-2 ball game. I'm talking to myself for the whole night. Those were the worst, especially if you stay up to do the game. Ali says he has found the NPB games to bet on, and he's cracked the beer, and he's all set and ready to go. There's a fastball delivered to Kai that misses inside. The count is 1-0. The living room has been a bit quiet. I want to know if the living room has the Amazon Alexa in the living room. As they pitch it as a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is 1-1. It is a good crowd tonight. It's a fun crowd tonight. Sometimes it gets a little bit hairy in here, but I like the crowd when we're all engaging on stuff. We had one guy one night was a little bit erratic. First time I had to put him in a timeout. People are asking if anybody here has got picks for the Oryx game later tonight. And here comes the pitch from Enns. There's a fastball that misses outside. And the count is 2-1. One thing I was going to ask you guys is if you guys have any preferences on which particular sites that you guys like to do your betting on. The reason I ask is years ago, it used to be Ladbrokes and the offshore stuff, Will Hill, some of the stuff out of Gibraltar. And there's a breaking ball that misses inside. Dietrich Enns doesn't say a whole lot, but you can tell his body language isn't happy as he's taking a long stroll off the backside of the mound. That pitch looked pretty good, although the home plate umpire must have thought it was down. That runs the count to 3-1 on Takuya Kai. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Kai. The runner at second is Yanagamachi. The runner at first is Kurose. There's 1 gone here in the 4th inning, and they're looking for more are the Hawks. There's a fastball swung on it as line foul. That's the third base coach, and the count goes to 3-2. Just looking at some of these folks here. Oryx on money line 116. Eric says he likes that, or Brian says he likes that to Eric. AZ Cardinal says he bets at MGM. Ali is at BetUs. DraftKings for Brian. BJ wants to know what the score is. Well, if you look at the ticker across the bottom of our channel, of our window there, you'll see it. Although it is 3-1 for the Hawks because they have cashed one in here. So we update our scores at the end of the half inning. Eric lives in Vegas. He says he uses the local books like Boyd or Will Hill, MGM, Stations Casino. No offshore stuff for him. There's the 3-2 pitch, and there is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into the left field corner. It's down for a base hit. Rounding second and heading home is Yanagamachi. 1 run is in. Heading to third and stopping at third is going to be the runner Kurose It is going to be a double and an RBI for Kai. That is going to increase the lead to 4-1 for the Hawks. So for some of you guys who are in here looking for that 6, it is starting to inch all a little bit more closer as there's only one away here in the inning and runners are at second and third. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Asami Namori. So Namori steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and flown out to left field. Our friend Alexander says the regulated books are on the NPB these days, but they shade the line, so it's hardly worth it. The trade-off is that they're terrible at updating lines, so you can catch stale ones. That's good. Our friend Samuel says he looks at FanDuel. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. Living Room says Ontario has legal betting, so it's different for me. I'd say anyone with PayPal is best. Fast cash in, fast cash out. Yeah, that's probably fairly standard. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. I have friends that live in Ontario, of course, and they talk about the betting a little bit, but it's changed a little bit on the pro line. Out here, they have the sports betting in the province where I'm at, and it's done a little bit differently. You can bet on single, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, 6 games. You can, however you want to do it. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is now 1-2 to Nomura. So they have a little bit of different options. You can do the online stuff and whatever else. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nomura. The crowd is into it here in Fukuoka. The runner at third is Kurose. The runner at second is Kai. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is tapped back to the pitcher. Enz has got the runner hung up between third and second. He tags him for an out, and he throws down to second, and he gets Takuya Kai. Are you kidding me? That is absolutely horrific base running by the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, and it takes them out of the inning. Kurose was running from third. Enz fields the ball, tags him, turns, throws back to second, and Kai is retired on the putout. So that is a double play to end the inning. And that will do it here for the Hawks in their half of the 4th inning. There were 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors except for the base running errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 4 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 4, the Saitama Seibu Lions 1. We'll be back here, everybody, after the dust clears. Unbelievable. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Hello, guys. Steve Rademacher coming at you. I'm having my 500 subscriber giveaway if we get there by the end of this year. That's my name and my channel, Steve Rademacher. All you have to do is be publicly subscribed, and then you can enter to win once we hit the magic number. Either an unopened, still sealed box of Star Trek official trading cards, Next Generation and Original Series. If that's not your cup of tea, we have Fleer Adrenaline with a Deer Dick rookie card. I have pulled out an autograph from one of these, and there are relics. If that's not your thing, how about an unopened box of 1987 Donruss Baseball? Just come watch me, subscribe, and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. That was got to be one of the most boneheaded base running plays I've seen in professional baseball in quite a while. The rookie, Kurase, was erased on the comebacker, so they must have had the on-contact play going, as was a ground ball right back to the pitcher. Nice job by Enz to run right at him and to get him forced out. He was erased for the first out on the putout. And then what happened was he turned and threw back to second base, where they were able to retire Takuya Kai. And they put the tag on him. So that was the double play that ended the inning. That was unbelievable. So Wada is going to come back out to start the 5th inning. So if anybody here was betting on the over, they just got themselves run out of that inning. And you're probably pretty ticked off, as it is a 4-1 scoreline, and they're sitting at 5 right now. And here comes the first pitch. Breaking ball that's dropped in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend, the Arizona Cardinals, who was in here earlier on, will probably jump in and say, I have a feeling there's going to be no more scoring. And maybe that will be it. There's a fastball that is a check swing that is half swung on by Genda, and it's going to run the count to 0-2. I can just feel that the rest of the way, and all of a sudden it's a 5-run game, and those who pick the 6 or the 6.5 will end up losing out because of that particular play. So here comes the offering now to the left-handed hitting Genda, and it's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 1-2. For Genda tonight, he's 0 for 1. He struck out and had a sacrifice in his 2 trips to the plate. And here's the pitch from Wada. It's a breaking ball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-2. Our friend, the Eric Cheng says, or our friend the living room says, you're a magnificent maniac, as he's giving up all the information there that he has. As there's a breaking ball swung on, it's going to be lifted into the seats, and that's going to keep the count at 2-2 strikes. F5 is the first 5 innings. TT is the team total, and ML is money line for those who are wondering what all those short forms are about. And there's a breaking ball that is swung on. This ball is lifted down the line in left field. It's going to reach the temporary seating just beyond third base. That's going to keep the count at 2-2 strikes. For those of you who weren't with us last night, we were talking about the seats down the left field line and on the right field line. They have temporary seating where there's no netting, and all the fans that are seated in there are all wearing batting helmets. It's classic. There is a fastball swung on and missed. And Genda is gone on strikes for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the designated hitter, Tomoya Mori. So our friend BJ says, so we like Oryx tonight. The living room wants to know when 126 is batting again. He probably will be. He's batting in the order. He's hitting 8th in the order for Fukuoka, so he's 7 hitters away. I want to know if there's going to be a run on 126 jerseys from the Fukuoka store. So Wada here, ready to go. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0 to Mori. Mori tonight is 2 for 2. He's got a couple of singles and an RBI. Our friend Dave says, pure love for the game. Well, we do the Major League games too as well. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. There's all different crowds in on the games. Usually the late night crowds are the more gambling crowds. The midday crowds are more the people that are sitting back and drinking a beer and just listening to the stuff. Not that the betting crowds aren't that way too. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-0 on Mori. Fluby doesn't really doesn't bet so much either. He listens in. And there's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the third base side. It is playable, and the third baseman, Shudo, is going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Mori. Mori was swinging 3-0, and he's got to do a better job than that. 3-0 fastball, and you pop it up. Yikes. And it was a high fastball as well. He got underneath it. If he was walking by me in the dugout, I would be making a quick 2-step if I was Mori. I'd be pretty ticked off. He is retired for out number 2, but I guess if there's somebody you're going to give the green light to, it would be your 3-hole hitter, and he had a couple of hits tonight, so why not? So this is going to bring up the first baseman, Hataka Yamakawa. Yamakawa tonight is 1 for 1. He's got a single and a walk. And the first pitch delivered to Yamakawa is lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of Graciel, so he's got himself a 2-out single. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Ning Ting Wu. Alexander said he's got the English stream we provide synced up nicely to his feed, so that's great to hear. As we say, if we can get this one done under midnight Pacific time, then maybe we'll be able to catch another one again. There's a conference on the mound as the pitching coaches come out to talk to Wada. Wada's at 93 pitches. I'm sure he'd like to get through this inning here and be able to get through this so that he can finish off the inning and be able to get himself a win if the Hawks can hang on. But I will say this, that if the Hawks are able to close it out here in the fifth, it's going to be a very difficult game for the Lions to score runs with a 3-run Hawk lead the rest of the way. The bullpen with Levon Moinello and Maury and others are going to be very difficult for the Lions to score some runs. So Wada holds at the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Wu. Wu tonight is 0 for 2. He struck out looking his first time up, and he flew out to the center fielder his last time. We'll be calling games pretty much up until about the 25th of August in the NPB. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is now 2-0, and then I'm going to take about 10 days off. We're going to be heading back east. Our friend the living room who's in the house is going to be arranging a game of blitzball. I've not met the living room in person or his buddies, but I told them they're in my old hometown, so we're going to try to get some blitzball together when we get back. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1 to Wu. So 2 balls and 1 strike. So hopefully we can swing the bat a little bit. I haven't been taking too many cuts over the last little bit. Just been swinging the fungo. Our friend Fluby says, pretty coincidental. Yeah, pretty amazing. He's living on the, he's an East End guy. There's a fastball that swung on and missed, and now the count is 2-2. There's actually another guy out there that's around that does some stuff on the sports card channel, Sticks G. He's also from my hometown. Talked to him one night a couple of years ago. We chatted for a little bit. He doesn't live all that far from where I grew up. So, yeah, it's kind of funny that you could live so far away and then you meet people. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And Wu is down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Lions in the 5th inning. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. That is 7 left on through the first 5 for the Lions. Your score, it is 4-1. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 5th inning after this. 4-1, Hawks. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Hawks. It'll be Shudo, Yanagita, and Despania coming up here to face the left-handed pitcher Dietrich Enns here in the 5th inning. I would have a feeling that Wada's day is done as he was able to get 5 innings. Our friend in the living room says we'll have to try to get some game dates. We'll have to try to figure that out as we get a little bit closer. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. The reason I say that is because I want to try to get over to see the Tigers play. The Mariners and the Royals will be in town, so I'm not sure what days we're going to go over there. And there's a fastball swung on and lined up the middle. It's going to get down for a base hit, and Shudo is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 5th inning. That is going to bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. Our friend Bruce is in the house here, and he says, do the Lions ever score runs? Well, they did last night. tonight, it is a whole other story as they just can't seem to get any runs in or cashed in. Fluby says it's not what they're known for so far, at least not tonight. Last year, it was really frustrating watching the Lions play, and especially some of their import players. Corey Spangenberg, boy, he was painful sometimes to watch for the Lions. He played there the last couple of years. Here's the first pitch delivered from Enns. It's a fastball that misses up and away for ball one. And the count is 1-0. 76 pitches now for Enns in this one. Our friend Samuel says, Dylan, I hope you can get some runs. That was an absolute killer play in the last inning by Enns there. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0 to Yuki Yanagita. Yanagita is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out tonight. The runner Shudo establishes his lead at first, and now Enns throws over, and diving back in time safely is the runner Shudo. Our friend the living room is still a big fan of Tomoka. As we said last night, I've got to get another one of those videos up and ready to go. Our friend the living room says, except for Rio, there's a fastball that's taken upstairs. They throw down to second, and it is maybe in time, but it was dropped by Genda, and Shudo is going to get himself a stolen base. That's going to be the 9th of the season for the Fukuoka third baseman. So he is at second. I'll have to see what that last pitch was, if the umpire called it a ball or a strike. It looked like it was a ball up in the zone. The throw was on the money, but it sort of short-hopped Genda, and it was thrown into the runner. So it's 3 balls and no strikes to Yanagita, and that's going to keep his at-bat going here as Dietrich Enns is going to struggle to try to get out of this 5th inning. If I remember correctly, the last outing we saw Enns, I don't think he got out of the 5th. There's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 3-1. Bruce says it was a ball. You're right, Bruce, it was. One thing you have to watch with this particular home plate umpire, he's really slow with his signals. And that pitch there, it looked like it was up in the zone, but sometimes, especially on pitches where runners run, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The catcher can block the vision of the home plate umpire, and they may make a call, or you might get a call that you don't necessarily expect. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yanagita. So our friend the living room is not a fan of Rio. So here's the 3-2 offering. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 3-2 to Yanagita. So I will say this, if we're going to be thinking about doing another one, we got to get the pace going here a little quicker. Friend Samuel Sklar says, you never know what the ump is going to call. Sometimes some of the umpires, and it's hard to, some guys are just downright brutal, especially in the big leagues. You know when you got certain umpires that are showing up to do games and you watch them and you say, geez, we don't know what's going to happen here. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into left field. Making the catch is O'Grady, and is going to send Shudo scampering back to second base. So, Yanagita doesn't get the job done. He's unable to move the runner along. He's gone for the first out of the inning. He's going to bring up the DH, Alfredo Despania. Umpires for me in the big league level, obviously, everybody can point the finger at Angel Hernandez. Hey, we got a bot in here tonight. Yeah, there's our first bot. We haven't seen a bot in here for a while. So now we're going to have to do some bot hunting. I always say you never know when you've arrived until you get your bot in here. As they have come out now, it looks like that Dietrich Enns' night is over. The Lions are going to be going to the bullpen, and they are going to be making a pitching change here. So Enns is not going to get through the 5th. Yeah, we shot the bot down, that's for sure. He is long gone. So that is going to bring in a pitching change. Enns' night is finished. Take tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a moment here, and we'll talk some more baseball. And you know what? We got rid of a bot. How about those apples? All right, we'll be right back.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
I'll say this, it'll be a done deal if Steve Rademacher sticks around for the second end of our doubleheader tonight. If we call another Japanese game, that would sure ice the deal here for sure. It is going to be a pitching change as Ryosuke Moriwaki is going to be coming in, as he is going to be replacing Dietrich Enns. This is going to be his 31st appearance of the year. He's 1-1 on the season. He's worked 28 2/3 innings, allowing 24 hits. Walked 5 and has struck out 23. He's got an ERA of 1.57. He's going to be welcomed as he's going to be facing Alfredo Despania with 1 out and a runner on second. So Despania steps up to the plate. Right-hander Moriwaki holds at the chest, and now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses down for ball one, and the count is 1-0 to Despania. Despania tonight is 1 for 2. He's got a single and scored a run. He's also struck out in his other at-bat. The veteran of the NPB. The big fella sure doesn't look like he has missed many meals in his time playing in the NPB. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-0. Well, the first breaking ball that Moriwaki threw missed down. The second one looked like it had dropped in for a strike, but he didn't get the call there, so I'm not sure what the home plate umpire is going to do. Although I have to say that this breaking ball from the right-hander looks almost like a good high school one. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that now drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. Well, that tightened up a little bit. Our friend Fluby, or Alexander, I think I was able to put you as a moderator as the other handle, as Fluby is the one that you use, the other one you use, but I don't think we have you on that one. Living Room, I'm trying to get you to be a moderator as well. I was having some hard time when I had you trying to search out your channel. There's a lot of living rooms out there. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike at the knees. And the count is now 2-2. Our friend the living room says it's hard to calm down when you've got all these Japanese cheerleaders hanging around. Yeah, I always get a kick out of that. Once we get to a certain, we've had that a couple of times where we've had the odd spam come in. Not too often, though, which is good. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's a breaking ball swung on. It's a good piece of hitting there by Despania. Grounds it softly over to Yamakawa, who fields it and steps on the base. It's going to advance the runner Shudo over to third. So Despania grounds out to third. He advances the runner for the second out, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. Our friend Dylan says we need some runs here. And, you know, that was the frustrating part about the Yanagita at bat. He flew out to left field, couldn't advance the runner over to third because that slow chopper to the right side, even though it was to the first baseman, Yamakawa, more than likely would have scored Shudo from third. So poor execution here by the Hawks in their half of the fifth inning. Not able to get a run driven in here. So here comes the offering now from the right-hander Moriwaki. There's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. Friend Alexander Leggett back in the house is Alexander Leggett. Hawks are called the Honeys, while the Lions are called the Blue Legends. I think that's the cheerleaders. They have 8 of the 12 teams in the NPB have cheer squads. There's a fastball swung on, and it is lined over to the second baseman, and that is caught by Shitotonosaki, and that is going to do it here for out number 3. There was no runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We are now through 5 complete innings. We're going to our proverbial Japanese halftime. Your score is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 4 and the Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the 6th in a few moments here, as they do take an extended break between the 5th and the 6th innings. We're going to go get ourselves a drink of water, refresh it up, and come on back here in just a few. Here is our friend Matt Hollis. Check him out after the game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be moving to the top of the 6th inning. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming to bat for the Lions when we return. It'll be Ito, Brian O'Grady, and Yuto Koga. It does look like the night is going to be over for Tsuyoshi Wada, as it looks like they're going to be going to the bullpen. But we'll have to get you all that update in just a couple moments. It is a 4-1 ball game here as they cruise to the top of the 6th inning. Just a scoring recap for you. The run by the Lions came in the top of the 1st inning when Shota Tonosaki hit a leadoff double. He was sacked over to third by Suzuki Genda and brought home on a RBI single by Tomoya Mori. That put them out in front. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks came back with 2 of their own in the bottom of the 2nd inning after 4 consecutive singles. It was Tatsuro Yanagamachi driving home Alfredo Despania with the first run, and then Kenta Kurose, favorite new player at number 126, drove in Taisi Makihara on a sacrifice fly. That made the score 2-1. The Hawks added 2 more runs in the 4th inning. A 1-out home run by Yurizabel Graciel made it 3-1. And they walked to Yanagamachi, a walk to Kurose. A double by Takuya Kai brought home Yanagamachi, and that made the score 4-1, and that is where we stand. We do have a pitching change as the Hawks have gone to the bullpen. They're calling on a right-hander. We saw this fella here last night. It is going to be Matsumoto coming in. This is Yuki Matsumoto. He's worked in his 21 games this year. He's got a 3-0 record. He's worked 30 and a third innings. He's allowed 28 hits. He has given up 8 walks and struck out 30, so he is on in relief. And he is going to be facing, for the first time, it is going to be the right fielder Ito, who he delivers a first pitch fastball outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So Matsumoto in relief here of Wada. Wada did his job. He got the 5 innings necessary for the potential to put him in line for the win. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Ido waiting on the offering here. I'm pretty sure that's Ido there. I'm going to have to take a look unless they've got a pinch hitter in here, and it does look like it's a pinch hitter. So I'm a little bit behind on mine. That's number 72 in the ball game. So it looks like Ido's night is done as he swings and misses through that one, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. This is actually Kawagawa, Seiji Kawagawa in the ball game. Now he's hitting 256. He came into the game last night. So Ido's night is done. There is a fastball that catches the inside corner, and that now runs the count to 2-2. So I apologize for being a little bit slow on the uptick as Seiji Kawagawa is in the game. So here comes the offering from Matsumoto, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is pop foul over on the third base side. There's a lot of room there. Sliding is the third baseman Shudo, but he can't come up with it as it landed foul just between him and the catcher Takuya Kai. There's a lot of real estate in foul territory here at the PayPay Dome. You see sometimes there's pockets just the way it's configured. It's going to keep the count at 2-2 to Kawagawa. Our friend Alexander Leggett says, "You got me looking up all the Japanese cheerleader teams and trying to figure out which one is winning the Nippon Series in my heart." Oh, that's fantastic. Team Venus of the Giants is in the lead. We've got our friend undrafted player in here. He listens from France. We appreciate you for popping in. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count now is 3-2 to Kawagawa. Our friend undrafted player we may be doing another game here in a little bit, so we might be having you back in, and it'll be 1 o'clock Eastern or 4 a.m. Pacific time. And there is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined to right field. Racing over to where the foul line is Yuki Yanagita, and he makes the catch. Kawagawa is gone for the first out of the inning. 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Brian O'Grady. So our friend undrafted player said he sent fan pack mail requests to all 12 NPB teams. Wait and see if a team sends something back to him. I wrote my letter in English and added a Japanese Google translation. That's pretty cool. Our friend in the living room says, "Go away." BJ wants to know what the next game is. We're contemplating calling the Oryx game at 1 o'clock. A lot's going to depend on how this game wraps up, how quickly it ends. So there's a fastball that misses down and away to O'Grady, and the count is 1-0. This game ends up where it's going to be at 1:45 Pacific. Then we're not going to be able to get prepared in time. This game, basically, we've got to get this one ended within the hour so we can be able to do some work to get that one prepared. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed by O'Grady. Count now is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So we're going to need some quick innings here, 3 up and 3 downs, to be able to pick up the pace. Matsumoto delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted to deep right field. Moving back onto the warning track, and this ball is going to be gone. A home run for O'Grady. A solo shot, not quite what some of our members need, but it is a home run, and that is going to cut into the lead at 4-2 as Matsumoto has served it up. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Yuto Koga. Our friend, the living room, says, Tomoka is on his team. Alexander Leggett says, it's pretty cool what our friend undrafted player has done. Hopefully they'll be able to wait on something there. So Brian O'Grady, that's his 14th homer of the season. He hit one Friday night. Now he hits one here. The former Kansas City Royal and San Diego Padre cashes in, but you could use to do it with a few more runners on base or a couple more runners on base. So that's going to bring up the catcher, Yuto Koga. So for Koga, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and grounded out in his 2 trips to the plate. His average has dipped to 173, and there's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. That's 6 runs now on the board. I know some of the group in here has been hoping for greater than 7 or above. Here's a pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line, but it's going to slice foul into the seats. It's going to run the count to 1-1. If we do choose to do yet another NPB game tonight, then I can guarantee you we will gas one of the Major League games tomorrow. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Koga. And here comes the offering from Matsumoto. He delivers a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Dylan Hoffman says he's back. Yeah, 1 more run. Anybody on? Nope, nobody on that one. Got 1 away here, and the right-handed hitter is ready to go. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count's going to go to 2-2. Our friend Living Room says he can't stay up that late. Just think of it as an early morning call. You can get a nap and get up for the last part. I know Steve Rademacher said that when he was around, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 3-2. When I was doing the call of an MLB game, he had gone to bed, and then he got up the next morning, went to work, and he heard me calling the end of a Japanese game. Lots of fun. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the offering now from the right-hander Matsumoto. He kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball. It's taken for a called 3rd strike. Koga stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 2, and that is going to bring up the center fielder, Shohei Suzuki. Our friend BJ says, I'm going to go to the Braves game. Probably be knocked at the game. The Braves are actually worth watching. If you were going to a Nationals game, you probably want to have a couple of pops in you. It's pretty tough. So that brings up the left-handed hitting Shohei Suzuki. The first pitch to Suzuki is a breaking ball that misses inside. The count is 1-0. Suzuki has been on board twice tonight. He's walked and singled. He raced in a double play he was picked off in his last time. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. Dylan Hoffman says, I want to go to a Braves game. That'd be kind of cool as well. Our friend Undrafted Player says it's 8:15 in the morning as he's listening from France, hanging out, listening in live. We'll be back on by the sounds of it in another hour and 45 minutes as we're going to probably do that Buffaloes game. So we might have more action again tonight. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. We do have an audience here with us tonight that's enjoying it, and we're enjoying having you guys here. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-2. A week from Monday, I'm going to be teaching a class online on the NPB. Do some online teaching for kids that are between the ages of 7 and 18. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded over to the left side of the infield, fielded neatly by the shortstop Namura. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Suzuki for the final out of the inning. That's going to go down as a ground out, 6-3 for out number 3. But they did get a run back to the Lions on a solo shot by Brian O'Grady. There was a run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through 5.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks for the Seibu Lions to stick around, everybody. We're going to the bottom of the 6th in just a couple moments. We'll catch everything up here after this. Be right back in just a couple minutes, everybody. It's 4-2 for the Hawks over the Lions. We just updated our ticker to keep you all up to date. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the 6th inning, and I see that our friend Alexander Leggett beat me to the punch. We had to shoot down a bot. Alexander Leggett said he took a flask to a game a couple weeks ago, ended up getting hit by a foul ball from Austin Riley, exited the game in the 8th due to a rain delay, lost my card, and got my money stolen from my account. Yeah, that'll do it to you. So that's called having a trifecta of bad luck. So that's having the gnats out of your system. There you go. Here comes the first offering from Morikawa, who's back on for his 2nd inning of relief. He drops a breaking ball into Urizabel and Gracial for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Gracial is 2 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and a home run. He's got 1 RBI. And he is batting here facing Moriwaki in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes to 0-2. A friend of the living room says, can I partake in that class? Well, you got to be under the age of 18, unfortunately. Steve Rademacher says he's got rid of both bots for us as well. Appreciate that. Guys, we're shooting them down quicker as we can get them done. So no balls and 2 strikes. As I said, you have really arrived when you start to get bots showing up in your streams. There's a ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-2. Gracial. Appreciate everybody looking out for us there. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gracial. Moriwaki ready to deliver again. He kicks and he fires, and it is a breaking ball that misses down. The home plate umpire points towards the hitter Gracial that he went around, and that is going to retire him on strikes for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the center fielder Tatsuro Yanagamachi. For Yanagamachi tonight, he is 1 for 1. He's got a single and an RBI. He's also walked and scored a run. Our friend Alexander Leggett said that Gracial might carry this game home. Our friend in the living room says, I am 12. He slips Fred at 20. That better be U.S., and there's a little bit more than that. Steve says, the mentality of the age, or is it the chronological age? There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Going to do it at 7 o'clock in the morning, our time, because it's going to be a Zoom meeting. There's a platform called OutSchool. We've done some online teaching through that platform, mainly baseball stuff. So there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. So the kids have to be able to be under the age of 18 to be able to do it. You have to register through the site, so you get yourself in trouble if you got adults sitting in on the channel, although it wouldn't be a bad thing to do to have adults be able to learn stuff. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded foul. It almost hit the on-deck batter. Kurose, who was standing over there. Welcome to the NPB. Got to pay attention. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Alexander Leggett says that Graciel might just carry this game home. Well, he's probably going to get at least 1 more at bat here, one would think. Graciel never played in Major League Baseball, but he did play independent ball. Played in the Can-Am League for a couple of years. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. BJ says he's going to be live betting all night long. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we said, our new favorite player wearing number 126, Kenta Karasi, waiting on the on-deck circle. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into the netting down the third base side, and that keeps the count at 2-2. Alexander Leggett says, I thought the NPB cheerleaders were as cute as heck, but the KBO cheerleaders are knocking me out there. You should have seen the cheerleaders in the German league. The Mannheim Tornado. They used to have a cheer squad. Everybody else in the German league just had a beer squad. And there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to still at 2-2. Classic stuff. BJ said, who's at bat right now? We are in the bottom half of the 6th inning, so Fukuoka would be the ones hitting. They are the home team. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yanagamachi. Dylan Hoffman says he just needs 1 more run. This is going to be nail-biting time for our friend Dylan. There's a fastball swung on, and this ball is fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side. Keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yanagamachi. He waggles the bat. He's waiting here. So he says, Eric Cheng says, Dylan, he's got the Lions at over 2.5. 1 more from them for both of us. That would do the job as that breaking ball missed down to Yanagamachi, and the count's 3-2 now. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat for Yanagamachi. He's really had to make the right-hander Moriwaki work. Why do I get the feeling that the player with number 126 on the bat might hit a home run his next at bat here? And there's a breaking ball that misses outside, and that's going to walk Yanagamachi with 1 out here, and that's going to bring up the first baseman Kenta Karuse. This is number 126. So as we talked about last night, he made his NPB debut. He was 0 for 1 last night. Tonight he has had a sacrifice fly that brought in a run. He walked, and then he was involved in that crazy double play as he was erased by the pitcher, Enns. One of the things about that in that double play, when Enns applied the tag to this big fella here running from third to home, Enns is a pretty big fella himself. He gave him a good solid 2-hander, knocked him down as he was able to throw back over to second base. My friend BJ says that the rent is due tomorrow. There you go. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that is swung on at best, and the count is 0-1. I had a buddy when he used to put game money down on games. He used to put the money down, and he would say that it would depend on it would fill up his car with gas. Well, now he's really serious about it because every time he wins with the price of fuel these days, he's like, yeah, you know what? Let's make sure that we've got gas to be able to support us. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2 to Karose. Either that or steak dinners, whatever it might be. So no balls and 2 strikes. Waggling the bat is the right-handed hitter Karose. He waits on the offering from the right-hander Moriwaki. He now kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend BJ says the price of gas is as high as heck. Yeah, it is. That's for sure. It's crazy, the pricing on what it is, and especially here in the Pacific Northwest. Some of the prices are just outrageous. I think I got in Everett $4.60 a gallon U.S. last weekend. You turn that over into Canadian funds, and you're looking at about just over $6 here in Canada. We're paying the equivalent of just over $8 a liter or $8 a gallon. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down. The count is now 2-2. Our friend Bruce says in the Bay Area it's basically $7. Yeah, that's absolutely insanity. Fluctuates all the time. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think we could probably start another YouTube channel, probably get about 10 times the amount of viewers just talking about and complaining about the price of gas. Everybody is feeling the punch and the price right now, that is for sure. It's not the only thing that's going up. If we've checked the meat in the grocery stores and the cheese and everything else, it's all going crazy. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away. It's going to keep the count 2-2 to Kurosi. As I said, I don't know if that's exactly how you say his name. As he said, he's new to us, as he made his debut last night. I'll never forget it. Player number 126. So that's what he's wearing on his jersey right now. There'll be a rush to the store. I remember when the Atlanta Falcons, when Michael Vick was playing there, and he had an alias Ron Mexico, and there was an influx of people ordering Falcons jerseys with Mexico printed on the back, and then they had to stop that. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Kurosi for the second out of the inning. He's gone on strikes for out number 2, and that is going to leave it all up to the catcher, Takuya Kai. For Kai, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He doubled and knocked in a run his last time up. He also had a sacrifice his first time. He was a part of that double play debacle that ended the 4th inning, as it killed the rally for the Hawks, the base running of Kurosi and Kai. Looked like a 14-year-old game of bad baseball. So Kai has pulled his average up on the season. He's hitting now .231. Here's the offering from the right-hander Moriwaki. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. We're going to have to pick up the pace here on this one if we're going to try to get together another game later tonight. As we said, we're probably going to, if it's got to be done by about 12:15 Pacific time for me to get a chance to be able to get prepared for that 1 o'clock first pitch. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. So basically, we've got to get 2.5 innings done here in the next 45 minutes. If that can be done, then we can be prepared to give you guys some decent quality ball for the game that starts at 1 Pacific. If not, then maybe we have to call it a night. So we'll see how this one shapes up. No balls and 2 strikes to Kai. Again, more wacky holds, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. Well, Takuya Kai has done his part about speeding up the game, and that's going to do it here. Moriwaki strikes out the side. He does walk a batter in the inning. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We are now through 6 complete innings. We're going to the top of the 7th. It is 4-2 for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with the call. Top of the 7th after this. Here's another one of our NPB Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top half of the seventh inning. It's going to be the top of the order coming up for the Seibu Lions. That means Shuda Tonosaki, Suzuki Genda, and Tomoya Mori. Our friend Dylan Hoffman says, do you think, guys, I'm going to get this run? Well, to be honest with you, I would say that if you are going to get the run, I'm going to say it's going to be a solo shot. It's going to have to be a home run. There is a defensive change for the Hawks, as our favorite player, number 126, Kenta Kurosi, is out of the ball game. But I have to get you the update on the number here in just a couple moments as who is coming in to replace him. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's not going to be a manufactured run. I think the bullpens are just going to get tougher from this point onward. But the right-hander Matsumoto is back in for his second inning of work. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0 to Tonosaki. Tonosaki's 2 for 3 tonight. He's got a single, a double. He scored a run, and he's flown out to center field. So 1 ball and no strikes. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tonosaki. Our friend in the living room says, who can replace him, 127 or 128? Yeah, when you watch some of the farm games, and there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2 to Tonosaki. It's also funny watching some of the farm games that are taking place over in the Japanese league. They have numbers like 154 and 117, and usually given to the training players. And I don't know the difference sometimes between the training players and the non-ones. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is now 2-2. My friend in the living room is in the house. There's a fellow from Windsor. I played against his dad, or actually, I played in the same organization years ago before the Tecumseh Thunder had a program. The Tecumseh Green Giants used to play out at Lacoste Park in Tecumseh. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep center field. Racing back on the warning track and making the catch is Yanagamachi. Tonosaki sent it to the deepest part of the ballpark. And that is going to do it. And that is going to bring the manager out of the dugout, as he has seen enough. They are going to be going to the bullpen. And that is going to retire Tonosaki for the first out of the inning. That looks like they're making the pitching change now. So Fujimoto is out. He talks to the home plate umpire. He has seen enough, and that will do it here. We'll get you updated when we come back. I'll tell you the rest of my story in just a couple moments. Matsumoto's day is done as the pitching coach Takamura is on to take him out. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in 30 seconds with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. It is a harsh crowd there, Dylan, as they're giving you the stick for asking if you think you're going to get that run. And it was a close call there. As we said, he sent it to the deepest part of the ballpark, just not deep enough. The pitching change is going to be a repeat of last night, as Shinya Kayama is coming back into the ball game. He made an appearance last night. This is going to be his 29th appearance of the year. He has worked 13 2/3 innings. He's allowed 9 hits. He has walked 7 and struck out 11. He's got an ERA of 1.32. So he is going to be coming over here, and you know what he's doing. He's going to be facing the left-handed hitters of Genda and Mori, as he's got a job to get these lefties out. Last night he came in to get the lefties out, and he put them on, and then he got the righty out. It was the kind of a yin and a yang situation. Everything was living in the opposite for the lefty here. But Shinya Kayami ready to give his try again here to try to retire the hitters he needs to face. So Kayama in and Matsumoto out. As I look at the game sheet, just taking a quick peek to see what they have in the back end of the bullpen for the Hawks. You have Levon Moinello in on the game sheet. It looks like they also have, I don't know if they have Mori here. They do have Samori, but see Mori here. So one would have to think that Moinello is going to be the one to close the deal here if they get into that spot. He'll be the ninth inning guy. And there's a first pitch breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into shallow center field. Coming underneath it is the center fielder Yanagamachi, and he's going to make the catch. And Genda is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away. And both of them have gone to the center fielder H-time Yanagamachi, and that'll bring up the designated hitter Tomoya Mori. For Mori, he is 2 for 3. He's got a couple of singles and RBI, and he has popped out to the third baseman. Our friend Steve Rademacher is playing around again with his stuff. We've got another bot in the house here. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. I go away for just a half a second, and the bots all come in. Looks like somebody else has shot the bot down, which is great. And there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. Steve is going to have to do a bot commercial on how to shoot the bots down. Here comes the 1-1 offering. And it is a breaking ball that misses outside from Kayama, and the count now goes to 2-1. So Kayama, as we said last night, had a struggle retiring the left-handed batters. Tonight, he's on the hill here, and he's having a hard time here with Tomoya Mori. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And Kayama kicks and delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted foul. It's going to be hooked down the right field line. It's going to reach the seats. The ball did have some legs, but it also had a lot of hook to it as Mori was way out in front. Crowd is making a lot of noise for the Lions. The traveling crowd is all in the area together down in left field. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch from the lefty Kayama, and it is a fastball that misses outside. Mori dances out of the box. The catcher, Takuya Kai, holds the pitch there for quite a while for the umpire to see. As far as I'm concerned, that pitch did not catch the outside corner. It looked like it ended up in the right-handed hitter's batter's box. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is to Mori. Left-hander Kayama gets his sign from his catcher, and now here he goes back to work. The 3-2 offering is on the way. And it is a breaking ball that's taken for a called third strike. And Mori stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 3, and that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is a 4-2 ball game for Fukuoka. Stick around, everybody. It's crunch time at the PayPay Dome. We're glad you guys are with us. We'll be right back after this. Right back in just a moment, everybody. 4-2 as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Hang tight. The young cheerleaders are also out there with the real cheerleaders. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the bottom half of the seventh inning. It's going to be the top of the order coming up to bat for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks here in the seventh inning. It's going to be Isami Nomura, Yukio Shudo, and Yuki Yanagita scheduled to come to bat. One of the things that is kind of neat is just the way that they do some stuff. They have a vehicle in right field, right center field, that as part of their advertisement, it's on almost like a hoist, and they pump it up and it goes up into the air and promotes one of the vehicles that they have, and then it comes back down after in between the innings. Got to tip your hat to the Japanese. They've got a lot of ingenuity. If you ever get a chance to get over there, some of the things are unbelievably awesome. One of the things is if you've ever been on a Japanese toilet, you may never, ever want to get off. It is heated seats. You get the full flush underneath, and the only thing it doesn't do is give you a massage. They're absolutely fantastic. They're an experience unto their own. We do have a pitching change as the Lions are going to the bullpen again, as they're going to be bringing on a left-hander. It is Takuro Sasaki in relief. In the first pitch, it is a fastball, and Nomura squares the bunt, and he takes that for a strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. For Takuro Sasaki, this is his second year in the NPB. This is his 30th appearance. He's 2-0 on the year. He has worked 22 and a third innings. He's allowed 22 hits, 12 walks. He has struck out 18. There is a fastball swung on it. It is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats. Allowed 6 runs, 5 earned, and he's got an ERA of 2.01. So now it's no balls and 2 strikes to Nomura. So I can't remember seeing Takuro Sasaki pitch this year. I mean, we may have. I have to go back through my records, but it doesn't look like he is somebody I've seen, even though he's pitched in 30 games. We don't do the Lions regular. So here comes the 0-2 offering. There's a fastball that misses off the plate outside, and the count now is 1-2 on Nomura. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Alexander Leggett says he would take the outhouse at some point over in a public bathroom here in North America. There was a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and Nomura has gone on strikes for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up the third baseman, Yukio Shudo. Alexander Leggett says not bad for a second appearance. Yeah, not too bad, not too shabby tonight. So it'll be Yukio Shudo stepping to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He singled and stole a base his last time up. He's also popped to third and has grounded out. The living room says Rise of the Love Machines is what he figures that translates to. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Shudo. So the lefty Sasaki ready to deliver again. There's a fastball swung on, and he's induced a ground ball over to second. Tonosaki fields it. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Shudo. Yamakawa dropped the ball, but they said it was on the exchange, so not to worry there. That's a ground out 4-3 for out number 2. That's going to leave it all up to Yuki Yanagita. Quaffs asked the question. He says, are NPB games usually lower scoring than MLB games? Or just does it depend on the teams that are playing? Yeah, it's a relative question. And we were kind of talked about this the other night. I threw it out there. I said the average score per team in the MLB, I think it was last year, was 4.3 runs a game. There was a fastball swung on and fouled off into the leg of Yanagita, and the count is 0-1. But of course, that's the average one. When you think of teams that are offensively challenged, like the Detroit Tigers or the Pittsburgh Pirates, that number would be lower. Teams that are offensively charged, like the Yankees, it would be higher. There's a fastball swung on, and this is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. And that is going to be picked up by the right fielder. Diving effort by Yamakawa, who went to his throwing hand side, but unable to stop the ball. And Yanagita is aboard with a single with 2 gone here, and that's going to bring up the DH, Alfredo Despania. So for Despania tonight, he is 1 for 3. He's got a single. He's scored a run. He's struck out and grounded out. So I guess to answer your question, quaffs. The question is, it does depend on who the teams are that are playing and the matchups and those type of things. So it looks like Yuki Yanagita's day is done. They've got a pinch runner in for him. Interesting that they've given him the rest of the night off. I wonder if that's because of the foul ball that he had off his leg. But there is a pinch runner now at first base for him. That is Naoki Sato. So one would expect that Sato will go into the game in the outfield. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. To Yerizabel Graciel. One thing that is noticeable, and there's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. It was a fastball. Looked like almost a quick pitch from Sasaki. I'm surprised he didn't get balked on that one. I will say this, if you look at the scoring, I haven't looked at it closely, but home runs, there is a huge discrepancy between the Pacific League and the Central League this year. Other than Yamakawa, who's got 30, the Pacific League is a bit dry on the home runs. There's a fastball delivered to Despania, who takes that one for a called third strike. He watched that one go by, and that is going to be it here in the 7th inning for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. So they had no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and one runner left aboard. We are now through 7 complete. We're moving to the top of the 8th inning. It is the Seibu Lions trailing the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 4-2. We have a pitching change. When we return, we'll bring that to you after this. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. This is where it is going to get tough to score runs. Koya Fuji is coming on in relief for the Hawks here. We saw him last night. He was absolutely electric. And Dylan asked a little bit ago, do you think we're going to get a run? As I said earlier, I think the only way that a run is going to be scored here is if it's going to be a solo shot. Fuji is appearing in his 32nd game. He's 4-0 on the year. He's worked 32 and 2/3 innings. He's allowed only 8 hits. He has walked 12, and he has struck out 49. He's got a microscopic ERA of 0.55. So who is he going to face? He's going to face Hataka Yamakawa, Nin-Ting Wu, and Seiji Kawagawa here in the 8th inning. So, again, if you're going to get a run, it's probably going to have to be a home run, and more than likely it's going to be a solo shot. Our friend the living room is tapping out. He has seen enough. You're going to be missing the greatest comeback of all time, but we can appreciate that. He's got to hit the sack. It is going on to 3 a.m. Pacific, so hopefully we'll catch you at some point tomorrow. So here we go back to the action as Yamakawa steps to the plate, and the first pitch from Fuji is a fastball that misses upstairs. That was at 95 miles an hour, and that is going to run the count now to 1 ball and no strikes to Yamakawa. As we mentioned, this game here, if we can get it done in the next 20 minutes, we'll take on the game at the top of the hour. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Yamakawa. The right-handed hitting Yamakawa has been on base all 3 times tonight. He's got a couple of singles and a walk. And here comes the 2-0 offering from Fuji. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is now 2 balls and 1 strike. I wonder what Fuji has to offer. That was a 4-seam fastball. That's good old-fashioned hardball right there. You know it's coming. You know he can throw it. You just can't hit it. And here's the pitch from Fuji. It's another fastball. This one there was at 96 miles an hour, and that's going to run the count to 2-2. So Fuji just rears right back and lets her rip. Yamakawa was actually on time with the pitch. He just swung underneath it. Wasn't able to stay on top of the ball. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. If he's got something off speed here. Here's the 2-2. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Coming in underneath it is the right fielder Sato. He makes the catch. And that is going to retire Yamakawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That might have been your chance to get that run there. Actually, that is the right fielder is now Yanagamachi. He has moved over to right field. Sato has slid into center field with the night of Yuki Yanagita being over. So that's going to bring up Ning-Ting Wu to the plate. Wu tonight is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice, and he has flown out to center field. And here comes the first pitch from Fuji. It's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. The right-hander Fuji holds at the chest, and now he kicks. And he delivers. It's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is now 2-0. If we are going to do that game at the top of the hour, we're going to need to get some coffee going here as well. But I can tell you this, if we do that game at the top of the hour, we're going to have to kibosh the Major League game in the morning tomorrow, which we were contemplating doing, and that's an easy call. So hopefully people will join us back again. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into shallow right field. Drifting back on it is the second baseman, Makihara, and he makes the catch. That is going to retire Wu for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Seiji Kawagawa. For Kawagawa tonight, he is 0 for 3. Sorry, check that. He's 0 for 1. He came in to replace Ito. Ito was 0 for 2 in his 2 trips to the plate. Kawagawa flew out to right field his first time up. He bats from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Fuji. Friend Eric says he'll be there for 1 a.m. if we do the other one. Well, they got to pick up the pace here in this last inning and change. There's a ball that misses up and away. The count is 1-0. As we said, if we can get it done, we won't even do a wrap on this one. We'll just say, hey, we'll see you at 1. Come on back in 45. We'll do it again. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Kawagawa. I would anticipate that Levon Moinello will be coming in for the 9th inning. The Cuban left-hander. He is electric and fun to watch. So 2 balls and no strikes. Fuji kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count's 2-1. Question to Eric will be are you going to be here this week when we're calling the games all through the middle of the night? This is going to be more than likely the last midweek games that we'll call, other than the ones that are going to be 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock starts Pacific time, which we're going to have a few of those coming up in the middle of the month. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. So we're looking forward to those as well. So we'll flip our days over a little bit and give you guys some action for sure. So here comes the 2-2 offering. As Fuji kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains to 2-2 to Kawagawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander Gets his sign from the catcher, Kai. Fuji now comes set. He kicks and he delivers, and there's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kawagawa. It's been a fun night tonight of NPB action. Now that the living room has left the house, we're back up to 20 viewers again. This is good. And that's between our Twitch and YouTube feeds. Here's the 3-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on, and this is fouled away. Count remains at 3-2 to Kawagawa. So if our friend Dylan's still around, you got to be looking for a solo shot at this point, Dylan, because base runners are at a premium now. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kawagawa. There's 2 gone here in the top of the 8th inning. He's waiting on the full count offering from Fuji. He kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the third base side. Racing back on it is the third baseman, Shudo. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Kawagawa for the 3rd out of the inning. And I'm going to have to shoot a bot. So hang tight, everybody here. We've got to block that user. And he is done. So here in the inning, we've got no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 7.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks for the Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back here in just a couple moments after this from our friend, Steve Rademacher.
Hey, guys, and thank you, Freddie. Steve coming back at you. That's right, Steve Rademacher. I would like to thank each and every one of you that is tuned into my channel. And today, let's do a little shout out for some other great channels you should be watching. There is WVlogs 18. There's Big D's Sports and Collectibles. You all know another Hollis build. Why not Like Father, Like Son? That's a great duo that does some great stuff. It shows some great cards. And of course, the one and only Bud Stoney, creators of One of Ones, the creator of One of Ones, and they're all signed on the back. Bud Stoney, One of One, like this beautiful Robin Yount that he made for me. He made me another Robin Yount, this time mini, and a Christian Yelich mini. Great cards, and he does more than cards. We have darts of Hulk Hogan and many other things. So give them a look-see and give me another look-see. Subscribers are always welcome, and back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and your support of the channel. And in turn, we like to support Steve Rademacher. Be sure, check out his site after the game. He's got a ton of entertainment for everybody. The lefty Sasaki is going to stay in the ball game, and he is going to be facing Taisi Makihara, Yurizabel Graciel, and Tetsuro Yanagamachi here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The first pitch delivered is a breaking ball that misses outside for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Makihara had showed bunt, but he was able to pull back. Makihara tonight is 1 for 3. He singled and scored a run in the second. He's grounded out to second and lined out to the second baseman, so 1 for 3 tonight for the Fukuoka second baseman, who waits on the offering, and it is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Logan says a push for the over 6 is better than a loss. So here comes the 2-0 offering, and it is a fastball that misses down. And that is probably right. So 3 balls and no strikes. The only other way that you might be able to get one here is if I can claw one off of the Saitama pitcher, because, as I said, I think we're going to see the Cuban lefty Levon Monello come in for the 9th inning, and that will be very difficult. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. So 4 straight balls has put Makihara aboard with a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. So I think the stats normally on a leadoff walk, you've got a 50-50 chance of scoring a run. When you get leadoff walks in the inning, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. If you can get the runner to second base with nobody out, it increases the percentage of scoring much more. So right now it's kind of a flip of the coin if we're going to see that 7th run. Heads, it's a yes. Tails, it's a no. So Graciel steps to the plate. Nelson Trang jumps in and he says, how about a homer, please? That would probably help the cause as well. Welcome, Nelson. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Graciel. Graciel may have already used up his chip on that one. He had a homer back in the 4th inning tonight. He's also singled and struck out. He's 2 for 3. Graciel is quietly picking up the pace, and now he asks for time and steps out as he feels that the pitcher Sasaki has taken too much time. So the runner at first is Makihara. There's nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And here comes the offering. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats behind the home plate area, and that runs the count to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Graciel. So Sasaki is way up in front on the Fukuoka left fielder. I look at Graciel. He's not a young guy anymore, but he's really done a good job at keeping himself in really good shape. No balls and 2 strikes. And again, the lefty kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs from Sasaki, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's been a fun night tonight. We do appreciate everybody who's checked in on us tonight for being here. We thank you guys for stopping by. There's a fastball that just misses off the inside corner, and now the count goes to 2-2 on Graciel. Had a lot of fun calling this one. A lot of lively chats with everybody that's been here. Some of the regulars checking in, some of the new folks to our channel. We appreciate you guys for being here for that. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This is line down the right field line, but it's going to slice foul into the seats. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just a reminder, we are going to be on the airwaves again for quite a bit this week. So if you haven't bookmarked the channel, be sure to do it, as we will be updating our schedule in the next 24 hours. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into left field. Racing in on it is O'Grady. He makes the catch as he had to come hard toward the foul line. And that is going to retire Graciel for the first out of the inning. So there's 1 away here with the runner at first being Makihara. That's going to bring up the center fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi. For Yanagamachi tonight, he's actually the right fielder now, as he's been moved over as Sato has gone into center. Yanagamachi is 1 for 1. He's got an RBI, he's scored a run, and he's walked twice. He's been all over the base paths tonight. And when we do update the schedule, our friend Alexander Leggett says, I don't see a whole lot happening here at the end. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. Nelson Trang is hoping for 2 runs coming up. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. It is going to be a tough one to do. As I said, when I called it there back in the 6th inning, I said it's probably going to have to be a solo shot. It'll take it over the hump. And there's a fastball that misses, and the count is now 2-0 to Yanagamachi. Get into this situation. The Hawks bullpen is tough, and the Lions bullpen has been very good this year as well. Dylan Hoffman says, what's going on? There is a runner at first base, and there's 1 gone. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. But I have to tell you, Dylan, if you're able to get this one and pull this one out, you're going to have to be pulling a rabbit out of the hat. So here comes the 2-1 offering. There is a fastball that drops in at the knees, and that's going to run the count to 2-2 on Yanagamachi. The bullpens for both of these teams are pretty much lights out. The Lions are having a great year this year. Fukuoka, they can roll out some guys out of the back end of the pen that are just locked down arms. And there they throw over to first base, and that ball was almost thrown away, diving back in time as the base running Makihara. Sasaki was trying to do his best John Lester impersonation by throwing it away. But to no such avail, as the big fella Yamakawa had to crawl the ladder to haul that one and pull it down. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball that is swung on, and it is lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. And that's going to keep the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yanagamachi. As we said, Yanagamachi has been all over the base paths tonight with a couple of walks and a single. He's looking to find his way on for the 4th time. So here comes the 2-2 offering from Sasaki. He holds set. He checks the runner at first and now delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to short. Genda fields it. He steps on the bag at second base, and he throws over to first. That is going to be a 6-3 double play to end the inning, and that is going to do it for the Hawks here in the 8th inning. So for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks in their half of the inning, there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. You can pretty much bank on it. We are getting a pitching change for the 9th inning. We'll be back here in just a couple moments with the call at the top of the 9th. Hang tight, everybody. We appreciate you guys for checking us out. Here's our friend Steve.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
We'll be back in just a bit, everybody, for the top of the 9th inning. 4-2 for the Hawks over the Lions. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the hard-throwing Cuban left-hander Levon Monello who is entering the ball game here. The lefty is in his 6th season with the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. He is a plus power arm, and he is going to be the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Hawks. There are a couple of changes defensively for the Hawks, but I'm going to have to get those to you after this one is done. Monello is 0-1 on the season. He's got 14 saves. He's worked 31 2/3 innings. He's allowed 12 hits. 15 walks, 51 strikeouts. The 7 runs he's allowed, only 3 have been earned, and he's got a microscopic ERA of a 0.85. So the Cuban left-hander on in relief here. He's 26 years old, entering the prime of his career, and he is going to be facing Brian O'Grady, Yuto Koga, and Shohei Suzuki. O'Grady in his last at-bat homered off of Matsumoto. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got 14 bombs on the year, and the first pitch from Monello is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. There's a chance to get that run here. This is the one, because O'Grady can provide instant offense. He's got the 2nd most of home runs in the lineup tonight for the Lions. He's behind Yamakawa, and there's a pitch. It is a fastball that is swung on and missed at 95 miles an hour. Monello can sure light up the gun. friend on Twitter is Jumpy as God, says he needs a Fukuoka win. David N says loading under 6.5. Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. Count is now 1-2. If you can get through O'Grady, because O'Grady can run into a ball. If you can get through O'Grady, then I would say you're probably safe to do so. I think we may see a pinch hitter for Koga. That would probably be a safe bet. I don't know what they've got left on the bench. I'll have to go and take a look here. So here comes the offering. It is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brian O'Grady. It'll be Koga and Suzuki to follow, as we are here in the top half of the 9th inning. Moinello gets the sign from his catcher, Takuya Kai. He comes set. Now the lefty kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on and missed. 96-mile-an-hour heater, and Brian O'Grady is gone on strikes for the first out of the inning. And he is going to be retired for out number 1. That is going to bring up the catcher, Yuto Koga. But as I said, we'll keep our eyes peeled here because I have a feeling we are going to see ourselves a pinch hitter. I can't believe that the Lions would let Koga come to bat. I want to see if they're going to entertain maybe Jansen Witt, because Witt could turn one around and be able to deposit one in the seats. We do have a pinch hitter. And here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into left center field. It's going to get down up the extra bases as Takuya Nakamura has driven a ball into the left center field gap. And he is now at second base. So the pinch hitter was Takuya Nakamura. He's got himself a double. And the Lions are not dead yet. So Nakamura does his job. And that is scheduled to bring up the center fielder, Shohei Suzuki. And Nakamura gets the high fives as he heads back to the dugout. His day is done. They've got a pinch runner in for him. His run, unless you're betting on these games, really doesn't mean anything. They do have a pinch runner that has come in for him, and that is going to be number 4, Kakuro Yamanobe. Yamanobe to run at second, and that's going to bring up the center fielder Suzuki, who is 1 for 2 tonight and a walk. The first pitch from Moinello is a fastball taken for a call and strike, and the count is 0-1. So we do have some drama here in the 9th inning. So no balls and 1 strike. Dave says this run means everything, to be honest. Yep, they could lose the game, but 4-3. A lot of people who took the over on 6.5 are hoping to be in that place. Here comes the offering. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and now Suzuki is in the hole at 0-2. Waiting on deck is the top of the order, Shuta Tonosaki. And then he'll be followed by Sasuke Genda. So no balls and 2 strikes. Hawks are looking to close this one out here. Salvage a win against the Lions. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Suzuki has gone down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So that is going to leave it all up to the top of the order and Shuta Tonosaki. I have to tell you, Suzuki absolutely waved at the pitch. He wasn't even close. So our Arizona Cardinals is already congratulating Dave, but you need the run here. So 2 gone with the runner on second, and Shuta Tonosaki steps to the plate. He's 2 for 4 tonight. He's got a single, a double, and he's flown out to center field twice. And Moinello checks the runners at second, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Tonosaki. Just as a reminder, we're going to try to get back here on the top of the hour for the Oryx game. Alexander Leggett is predicting a whiff here. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2 to Tonosaki. So Moinello way ahead in the count. That last pitch was a changeup, actually, out of the hand of Moinello. So no balls and 2 strikes. Quaff says, what were the odds on this one? It's under 6.5. I don't know what the odds were. So here comes the 0-2. And there's a fastball swung on, and it is fouled away. It reaches the seats right behind home plate. It's going to keep the count at 0-2. Alexander Leggett says places aren't letting you bet it right now. It's too late in the game. You're probably absolutely right. Dave says I bet it live and it was even. So no balls and 2 strikes. The Lions are down to their final strike and their final out. Moinello gets the sign. He shakes off his catcher a couple of times. Now he steps off the back of the rubber, and we're going to reset and do this all over again. As Takuya Kai and Moinello are not on the same page. So here we go. As Kai gives the signal, he shakes off. Again, does Moinello a couple of times, and now he comes set. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. He checks the runner, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses way upstairs, and the count is 1-2. Sure, and that's what he had shaken him off for. So no balls and 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Kai settling down his pitcher. Moinello checks the runner at second. Checks him again, and now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats behind first base, and that's going to keep the count at 1-2. So after this one is done, we're going to have to wrap quick, and then we're going to have to get ourselves in a full-on race to get ourselves prepared for the next one. So hopefully some of you guys want to join us who are staying up late. And we're going to have to shoot down yet another bot. Just keep showing up. So here comes the 1-2 offering. Moinello holds at his chest. And he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. That last pitch was at 154 kilometers. That's almost 97 miles an hour. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. If I'm Moinello, I'm going right after him with good old-fashioned hardball. See if you can do anything with your heat. Dave N says, are bots good for the algorithm? We were laughing earlier. We said that you haven't arrived until you got bots coming in your channel. We've had them before, but not that as often as tonight. And there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded softly over to third. It is fielded by Shuto. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. Your final score on a ground out 5-3 to end the game is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 4. And that is going to be 2 for the Lions. Your final score is 4-2. Our friend Logan, who's in Florida, says watching this game. And that is going to be it. Well, we're going to be back on in about 35 minutes, everybody. We appreciate y'all for checking us out tonight. 4-2, the Hawks have beat the Lions. Hang tight. We'll be back in 35 minutes. We'll create a new stream. We'll get the lineups done. So if you guys are up and sticking around, come on back for game number 2. It's going to be the Buffaloes, I believe, and the Marines is who we said we're going to be doing. It will be Oryx at Chiba. So hopefully we'll catch you guys a little bit later. Once again, appreciate y'all for being here. Come on back and see us again a little bit later. Have a great night, everybody.